is coming in the way of information from sources reported by Deepak Bopanna right now. It's an extremely important bit of breaking news, Deepak, which we've been discussing all day. As far as Rajya Sabha is concerned, one was waiting for the final nominations of the Rajya Sabha vacancies and the Congress's nominees to come up before we had this decision come out. Do you believe it could happen in the next couple of days? Or do you believe it could be a little more prolonged than that? Will there be a meeting of MLAs? What are you hearing after that conversation perhaps you're picking up at KJ George's residence in New Delhi?
No, Veera, this is not going to drag on for longer. I'm pretty certain, from what I'm picking up from what the High Command's conversation has been with Mr. Siddaramaiah, that this is going to happen in the next couple of days. It could happen as early as day after tomorrow as well. But as of now, the next couple of days, Mr. Siddaramaiah is in all likelihood going to abide by the request that has come in from the High Command. And like I said, they've really here wanted him not to end his role in the Congress party by resigning as the Chief Minister, but begin a new role by moving to Delhi, become a part of the Rajya Sabha. This is not something that Mr. Siddaramaiah is very keen on, but there is a request that has been made by Mr. Rahul Gandhi himself, and that is what is in all likelihood going to prompt Mr. Siddaramaiah to take that decision Deepak, in that favor. So.
Deepak, some of the MLAs who are very close to Siddaramaiah told me about a few months ago when that earlier conversation and earlier speculation was on, that Siddaramaiah had told his close confidants that if Rahul Gandhi tells me to step down, then I will step down and I will give way. This was as much as what one of the MLAs who was very close and one of his close confidants had shared at that point of time, that Siddaramaiah was not someone who was going to go against Rahul Gandhi if Rahul Gandhi was the one who took the decision that there needs to be a change of guard. You've got 2 years left for this government's tenure, Deepak Bopanna. We believe, is it certain, A, you're reporting right now that Siddaramaiah will step down in 2 days' time. Is it certain that it will be DK Shivakumar who will be sworn in as the next Chief Minister? Is that also categorical? Because there were conversations of possible other alternatives and other options and others who were contenders.
Well, right now you can rule out the possibility of others, Veera. It looks like in all likelihood it is going to be Mr. DK Shivakumar because a change wouldn't have been required if not on his insistence, and this entire meeting was because he has insisted that there has been a power sharing formula that needs to be adhered to. They also understand the importance of Mr. Siddaramaiah, what he brings to the Congress party. That's the reason they've made it very clear. They've requested him, in fact, that he should become a part of the Rajya Sabha, be a part of the Congress party, which will be taking on the center. So they, in many ways, they have told him that his role will be larger in the days to come. But the entire aspect here is that this has not made Siddaramaiah happy at all. He's not somebody who has looked at national ambitions. He's made it very clear. So for him, right now, this has come as a setback, one could say. But he's somebody, like you said, has always said that if Mr. Rahul Gandhi tells him, anything, whatever the decision would be that is taken by Mr. Rahul Gandhi and the Congress High Command, he will abide by it. And it looks like now, he is decided to relent. Now, there's also an important meeting that's underway at Mr. KJ George's residence. I'm told Mr. Siddaramaiah there will be informing his very close confidants there about this decision. And we'll really have to see whether there any sort of possibility of him changing his mind. But at this point in time, I'm told that it's more or less confirmed that in the next couple of days, he's in fact going to step down, because he had made that, or rather, when any sort of conversation otherwise came up, the High Command was very clear about their decision in the matter.
All right, important that you're making that point. Big bit of breaking news, Deepak Bopanna, bringing us that big bit of breaking news. Jainendra also joins us live. Jainendra, can you confirm this with your Congress sources at the High Command? Deepak Bopanna reporting that Siddaramaiah will step down in 2 days, submit his resignation, and then DK Shivakumar will be sworn in as the next Chief Minister of Karnataka.
Deepak is breaking from confirmed sources only. Even I reported yesterday that top Congress leadership, top Congress sources are telling that in next 2-3 days everything will be decided. And in today's meeting, during the meeting, we informed our viewers that Siddaramaiah have been asked to resign and to make way for DK Shivakumar. The sources are telling that he was reluctant and he tried to present his report card regarding the guarantees of Congress party, but he was clearly told that party needs fresh face and needs some change to ensure victory in the next assembly election, and he was offered Rajya Sabha post. Siddaramaiah asked for some time from leadership, and right now he is with 5 ministers. This is the house of Mr. KJ George in Delhi, where Siddaramaiah is at present right now. He's shortly from now he will leave for airport, and at present he is meeting with 5 ministers and 2 MLAs are also present. So what will be Siddaramaiah's next plan of action? It is yet to be it is to be seen. But yes, in the meeting he was asked to resign and he was offered Rajya Sabha seat. Whether he is ready, as per Deepak Bopana, he is going to resign in the next 2-3 days. Well, we are waiting, and we are waiting for some official confirmation. Also, that what Siddaramaiah have to say on this. But as per my sources are saying that in the meeting Siddaramaiah asked for some time. But now, because earlier he clearly have told that whatever leadership will tell me, whatever Rahul Gandhi will tell me, I will abide. So in the meeting he was conveyed that party wants change, leadership wants change. Naturally, whether Siddaramaiah will resist, if Siddaramaiah resists, then it will be a big problem for Congress party. But if he abides by that, then naturally transition will take place and DK Shivakumar will be the next CM of Karnataka.
Important point that's there. Shiv, I've also spoken to a very senior Congress source who's confirming exactly what Deepak and Jainendra are reporting, that Siddaramaiah will step down, and the source told me, quote unquote, that in a respectable way in which he wants to go out. And when I asked specifically about who the next chief minister will, he said, look, let's take one step at a time in terms of decision. So I think it's all set. We are reporting right that Siddaramaiah will step down as chief minister, and I think that's the decision that's been taken from by the Congress High Command. Shiv.
Huge, Veera, huge piece of breaking news that we as a team have been right about here on NDTV for the last few days, I might add. We had, after the Tamil Nadu elections, sensed that something was afoot, and that's the reason why NDTV leapt on this story. It was in the wake of our coverage that the 2 leaders were actually summoned to Delhi, and now Deepak Bopana reporting that in the next couple of days, Siddaramaiah, the sitting Chief Minister of Karnataka, will be resigning. He has been spoken to. All the communications have been completed. He's been convinced about what the changeover of power is going to look like. It has to be a respectable changeover of power, as Veera correctly pointed out. What happens between now and that changeover is going to be interesting to see. Siddaramaiah is apparently going to be flying back, Deepak, tonight to Karnataka, and in the next couple of days this will happen. Do we have a sense of how this will happen? He will make some kind of an announcement. It will be a formal resignation. How will it take place, Deepak? This is the biggest news break that we've brought to our viewers. A 3-year-long sort of power struggle for the Chief Minister's chair appears to be finally at an end.
Yes, Veera. While there was a lot of discussions on how this is going to really happen. Right now, the clarity has really come out, isn't it? Because right now I'm learning that as early as day after tomorrow, this a resignation could come by from Mr. Siddaramaiah. But importantly, to note here that as far as Mr. DK Shivakumar is concerned, or anybody in his camp, nobody is saying a word. They're not uttering a word about any of this because the essence of the entire issue is that Mr. Siddaramaiah is a veteran leader and he deserves to make this announcement himself. And there shouldn't be any bragging rights or anything that would in any way make him feel really low about this, because the High Command has taken this call. And for Mr. Siddaramaiah right now to abide by the High Command, it is something that there are 2 aspects here. One is they've also asked him to come to Delhi. They've told him his role doesn't end with him resigning as a chief minister, and it begins as him joining the Rajya Sabha and the Congress party's voice against the BJP at the center. So that's how they have put it to him. And, he was very reluctant. He still remains reluctant. Whether he's actually going to take up that offer of joining the Rajya Sabha, that's not very clear. So that's where he's going to hold a couple of more meetings with his, close ring. And then based on the advice that they give him, he's going to either take up that role or not. But they are very insistent that he does take up that role. They want him in Delhi, at least in the run-up to 2029 is what they have told him. As far as this power transition is concerned, everybody, including Mr. Rahul Gandhi, in fact, told Mr. Siddaramaiah that they understand every aspect that he has tried to tell them or put forth, but they were very insistent that this transition has to happen now. So it seems like finally that entire power sharing promise that was just dangling around, it seems like the High Command has put that to rest and decided to go for it.
When Veera and I were reporting from Chennai just a couple of weeks ago, Veera said something very important to me. Once the numbers had stacked up for Vijay, Veera, you had said Karnataka is next. That's where the next big upheaval is going to take place. And that is exactly what has happened right now. If this decision and this announcement comes in the next couple of days, as we are reporting now, it's basically what we've been reporting for the last few years. Veera, you're picking up also that the conversation has happened and this announcement will take place in a couple of days. How did it happen? How was Siddaramaiah convinced, Veera?
Well, I think, look, first of all, Shiv, it's been on the power play for a while. And I think, a Congress leader told me, a Siddaramaiah confidant told me the last time there was speculation, I was just pointing to Deepak, that if it came to Rahul Gandhi taking the decision and saying he has to step down, Siddaramaiah will step down and give way to whoever the Congress High Command decides. I think still that the game's still not over. There could be a sting at the end of the tail. But for the moment, I think it's pretty clear that Congress High Command is conveyed and Siddaramaiah will abide by the fact that he will step down from Chief Ministership. And I think the move forward in terms of who next, etc., will have to be done in consultation with MLAs. It's most likely to be DK Shivakumar, and I believe that the process will not be in a hasty manner. Remember, he's the tallest OBC leader of the Congress as far as Karnataka is concerned. The optics of him being told to leave is not something the Congress wants. It has to be something that he does out of his own volition and his own willingness to step aside. And what he's going to be given, I think all that were discussed, possibly a Rajya Sabha seat, possibly a national role, possibly accommodation of several of his loyalists in the cabinet to come through. But I think it may take more than a couple of days. It could happen in a couple of days, but I believe before the Rajya Sabha nominations, you will have categorical clarity in terms of the change of guard in Karnataka, and Siddaramaiah will give way by giving in his resignation. That's what I was told by a top Congress leader who I spoke to, who is in New Delhi at the moment.
This is a huge climactic moment in Karnataka politics. What has so far been only in the realm of, meandering speculation appears to finally be at an end, and a change of guard, as Veera rightly put it, is right ahead of us. It could happen in the next couple of days. Remember, there could be many twists and turns in terms of how things finally settle and how the dust settles on this decision. It won't be easy, most certainly. Two big leaders, an excess of personality, a very public power tussle that has played out over the few years since that handsome election victory in 2023. So how is it going to be managed is going to be the big question. But all the loose ends of communicating the High Command's decision have at least been tied up. That is for sure. And we are expecting a resignation from Chief Minister Siddaramaiah in the next couple of days. Jainendra, quickly bringing you in, where are the leaders right now? Has Mr. Siddaramaiah left? What about DK Shivakumar? Are there any more meetings before they depart and leave back for Karnataka?
Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is right now at KJ George, Delhi's residence, and along with him, 4 other ministers, G. Parmeshwar and some other ministers are also present, and they all are having tea and discussing naturally the political scenario. 2 MLAs are also present inside. This is the house of Minister KJ George, and as per information, CM Siddaramaiah will be leaving in a short while from now, and he's supposed to reach reach Bengaluru tonight. As far as DK is concerned, DK Shivakumar is at Karnataka Bhavan right now, and the decision has been taken, the message has been conveyed, so no meeting tomorrow. Just we all are waiting for the next step, that when and how Siddaramaiah will resign. And as our colleague Deepak Bopanna is reporting that he is going to resign in next 2 days, naturally he will have to tender his resignation to governor, and after that the new government will take oath, and the top contender for CM post is DK Shivakumar. So DK Shivakumar will take oath as new chief minister. So all these action will be unfolding in next coming days. But after the big meeting and big message from leadership, right now Siddaramaiah is meeting with his close ministers in Delhi, and after some time he will leave for Bengaluru.
Okay. Deepak, I know, now that the High Command has spoken, both sides will have to comply with what they've instructed. But is there any sense that you're getting on how the MLAs who have done all this power projecting so far, how are they going to be managed? Because there were very clearly two camps in the Karnataka Congress and the Karnataka government. How is that going to be managed now? Is that Randeep Singh Surjewala's job, or is it up to the two leaders, Siddaramaiah and DK?
Well, in a situation like this, the High Command would want the leaders themselves to control, their supporters, the MLAs who really back them, who've been vocal. Now, in the past, you've seen, the supporters of Mr. DK Shivakumar, who have come out openly, started making statements against him, and Mr. DK Shivakumar, as the KPCC chief, in fact, issued, show cause notices to them. Now, with Mr. Siddaramaiah being asked to step down, there is going to be a lot of dissatisfaction, and it's going to be a lot of MLAs who are going to be disgruntled. But we should also understand, Shiv, that power is not permanent, and in politics, everyone is aspiring to do something, and they know that once if Mr. DK Shivakumar is at the helm of affairs, they will also have to bank on him to probably give them positions either in the cabinet in the future, boards and corporations, and various other demands and requests will have to be made to him. So it's only a matter of time when the transition becomes smoother, but it's not going to be without the initial hiccups. You can rest assured there is going to be some sort of drama that will play out. But if Mr. Siddaramaiah himself, of course, graciously does step down here, then it's going to be much smoother. But if there is going to be some sort of a that's left in him, which says that, well, the High Command may want this to happen, but I'm not going to do this, then things could get very ugly. That is a remote possibility at this point in time, because I'm told that the way that the conversation was with Mr. Siddaramaiah, it was giving him the utmost respect to make this transition very smooth, not to make this ugly. That's the reason nobody there wanted to come out in front of the media and even say that there was a discussion about leadership, because any conversation around leadership, around change, they're hoping that it comes out from Mr. Siddaramaiah himself. That is, it's about him willingly doing it. You will not hear any statement from any of them about this, especially from Mr. DK Shivakumar.
Veera's got some more information. Veera, go ahead.
Shiv, I just spoke with somebody who's very close to Siddaramaiah, who's confirmed again, it looks like this. Yes, it is looked like this. Don't quote me, but it does look like that. I think the camp around Siddaramaiah was extremely confident when they went from here to New Delhi. They thought this was all going to be about cabinet reshuffle. But I think this is a new sense as far as the Congress is concerned, Shiv. Biting the bullet as far as Kerala is concerned, many believed that the indication was that there had to be decisive leadership question answered as far as Karnataka is concerned. One thought that the decisiveness could be about having a cabinet reshuffle and telling categorically that Siddaramaiah will be the chief minister for 2 years without upsetting status quo at that level. But I think it's categorical that the Congress wants a younger leadership, but it wants to take Siddaramaiah along. It's not making the mistakes of Rajasthan. This is Rahul Gandhi stepping in, categorically stating that, look, Siddaramaiah has to step down. And as I was pointing out earlier, it was clear all along, Shiv, that if it came to Rahul Gandhi deciding and saying affecting a power change in Karnataka, Siddaramaiah would abide by it. I think Siddaramaiah will abide by this. The question of what he's going to be given, because that's important for the Congress's optics, what his loyalists are going to get as far as the cabinet is concerned. You've got 2 years left. And also, I think the next change of guard and what's going to happen. If it's going to be DK Shivakumar, how are the rest of the power lobbies going to be accommodated, has been discussed. And I think it'll be a smooth transition. That's the sense I'm getting from the Siddaramaiah camp at the moment.
So it could be a smooth transition, and that at least, Veera, is what the High Command is hoping for. But Siddaramaiah is a leader who has the capacity to give the High Command and the Congress in general a significant amount of pain. So managing his mood is very important, isn't it, Veera?
Oh, absolutely. A very senior journalist who worked as media advisor to Siddaramaiah had once told me that, look, he's an anarchist. If he loses it, you never know what he will do. He is somebody, but then he's also not in his prime, Shiv.
Yeah.
If the same conversation had happened between 2013 and 2018, I'd have said, no way. Earlier, no way. But Siddaramaiah is not in his prime. He knows that he has to let go. He has served a record by being the longest serving Chief Minister of Karnataka. I think the Congress has stood its end of bargain to Siddaramaiah. It's up to him right now to stand his end of the bargain. The state needed clarity. Irrespective of what was going to happen, the state needed clarity. And I don't think he wants his legacy to be one of the man who upset the Congress at this stage as far as this state is concerned. So I think it's also the question of what his loyalists are going to get and the optics of how he's going to play perhaps a larger national role. I'm not sure of the Delhi role because, Shiv, because of the Hindi impediment that he has. I'm not sure of a leader of opposition role in the Rajya Sabha, but that's all been in the realm of speculation. But I think it's pretty clear that the Siddaramaiah camp and Siddaramaiah himself have veered down to stepping down and moving out and giving way for a change of guard in Karnataka.
Interesting. You know, he leaves for Karnataka tonight. As we understand it from Deepak's news break, the resignation will take place a couple of days from now. So this week, the change of guard in Karnataka is definitely going to happen. You know, there were many who said that the Karnataka Game of Thrones, will simply be a postponement or a deferment and nothing will actually happen now. But now we can pretty much tell you that the change of guard is set. It's going to happen this week. Next couple of days is what we are hearing. It is very interesting because so much of what happened behind closed doors today in that marathon manthan, that big meeting between DK Shivakumar, Siddaramaiah and the entire galaxy of the High Command, Rahul Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, KC Venugopal and Randeep Singh Surjewala of the Congress party has finally led to something serious. They came out and they quipped that this was about Rajya Sabha seats. Everyone had a good laugh about that because they knew it couldn't possibly be just about the Rajya Sabha seats. But Jainendra, I want to come to you on an important question because, so far, Siddaramaiah has always said, I will abide by what the High Command says, which is what he's going to do now, because the news is that the High Command was pretty united in backing DK Shivakumar and wanting a smooth and dignified sort of transfer of power. How did Rahul Gandhi's mind change? Because we do know that Rahul Gandhi so far has been quite adamant in standing behind Siddaramaiah as the Chief Minister and to continue with him.
Yes, and it was because Siddaramaiah was having mass support. He's the tallest leader of Karnataka right now, and due to the Ahinda support base, which includes OBC, SC, ST and minorities, Siddaramaiah is a mass leader, and that is why Rahul Gandhi was in his favor in 2023, and after that also Siddaramaiah was Rahul Gandhi's first choice. But when reports of his government and raising anti-incumbency reports came in front of Rahul Gandhi, he was then apprehensive, and his prime target, Shiv, is to ensure victory of Congress in Karnataka in next assembly election, which is due 2 years from now in 2028. So this is the main prime concern of Rahul Gandhi, and reports have suggested Rahul Gandhi, and also the feedback that reached to Rahul Gandhi were negative for Siddaramaiah, and Rahul Gandhi was not sure that Congress will return by not removing Siddaramaiah as a Chief Minister. So that then only he made up his mind to change Siddaramaiah and give the baton to DK Shivakumar. And Shiv, today is his first qualifier in IPL this time. Siddaramaiah, DK Shivakumar lost first qualifier in May 2023, but he won the eliminator in May 2026, and he have eliminated Siddaramaiah, and now he is going to be the next Chief Minister of Karnataka.
You know, Jainendra, we all love cricket metaphors, but we have to still wait and see whether the next 2 days offer any last-minute twists and turns. It's a glorious game that is politics, and ultimately, until it comes out fully in the open and there is a resignation, we have always seen in election season and otherwise, until it is over, it is never over.
I think
Veera, go ahead.
I think Shiv, the right way to report this right now is that the Congress High Command has decided and Siddaramaiah has accepted to resign and step down and give way as far as the state is concerned. The official process, we do not know when it will unfold. As you're saying, 24, 48 hours is a long time in politics, boss. Many things can change.
Yeah.
Till a resignation's there, you don't know what's going to happen. But then I think you can categorically say, and I'm saying this with confidence, Shiv, while I was stuck in the show, I've been able to talk to two very reliable sources who have been there as part of the meetings, who have confirmed to me that what Deepak is saying, I mean, this is double confirmation and triple confirmation. Deepak broke it first. We're able to reconfirm categorically. Only thing they're saying is that how it's going to happen will be decided by Siddaramaiah. The optics will have to be one where his respect will not be tampered with. He will be seen as the man of stature. It will be clear that he is still the tallest leader as far as the Congress is concerned. And this is coming both from the High Command sources as well as those extremely close to Siddaramaiah who are in New Delhi at the moment. So I think you can reliably say that Siddaramaiah has conceded to the fact that he will have to step down. Now, when he's going to do it, how he's going to do it, we will know in the next week or so. And then what's going to happen next? It's most likely going to be DK Shivakumar. But then a week is a long time in politics till it's officially announced.
Veera, after this show, I'm going to call you and ask you whether you want me to come down to Bengaluru. Does the scene shift back to Bengaluru?
You don't have to ask me. You should.
Okay.
Camp yourself here.
Maybe I'm going to book my tickets right after this and we'll have a Chennai repeat in Karnataka, except that there'll be no suspense over there. Here the decision may have already been made, but still there is suspense until it is finally over. Before I go back to Veera, Deepak and Jainendra, let me just play out some sound bites for you. Here is DK Shivakumar just a short while ago after the big meeting happened. Take a look.
Sir, anything on price rise? Your one comment, sir. Okay, will not put, sir.
No finger thumbs and anything.
Okay.
Don't put. I have not done anything.
Okay, sir.
Don't put.
Okay, not very pleased looking DK Shivakumar after that long meeting, but I don't want to read too much into body language because when they came out for that meeting, DK had a big smile on his face. Siddaramaiah looked pretty glum. Then the smiles actually changed faces. So, this reading body language is a bit of a slippery slope when it comes to Karnataka politics and politics in general, but also welcoming onto our coverage right now, B.S. Arun, senior journalist, for a perspective on this. Mr. Arun, good to have you. How do you see this? NDTV reporting now via our sources that Siddaramaiah is likely to resign in the next couple of days. The change of guard is pretty much confirmed. DK Shivakumar, in all likelihood, to be the next chief minister. All of that could happen this week. Mr. Arun, welcome.
Thank you. It's a very important decision as far as Karnataka is concerned, and also for the Congress party, because this is the first time ever, perhaps in any state, that any party has taken such a decision to unseat a sitting chief minister and bring in a new one. And with this, Congress would be sort of, on the tenterhooks also, because Siddaramaiah is an established leader of the party. He is an established leader, unquestioned leader of the backward classes and minorities. And he has given, and he's the longest serving chief minister also, as of today. Surpassing the tenure of Devraj Aras. So all these are the credits that Siddaramaiah enjoys, and Congress will have to placate him to the maximum extent to ensure that he won't create any trouble for the incoming chief minister. Also, Congress needs him, to face the next elections in 2028 or 2029, because it depends a lot on Siddaramaiah to get for the party the votes of the Ahinda group. That's, as I said, the backwards, the Dalits, and the minorities. So Congress depends on Siddaramaiah to a very great extent, but still, the organization-wise, it is Shivakumar, and the promise that seemed to have been made to Shivakumar 2.5, 3 years ago, I think Congress has to stand by that, and perhaps I think the patience of DK Shivakumar was also running out, and that is the reason why now that the elections and the chief minister's selection in different states are over, and Shivakumar must have demanded his pound of flesh, and that's why the meetings today, several rounds of meetings, and after that, as what you're breaking, that the current chief minister is going to resign.
Veera, I wanted to come to you on one point. Given how aggressive and in some cases almost a hostile this tug of war has been between these two leaders, after a transition, Veera, would things be peaceful, or would the losing side sort of give a lot of pain to the side that takes over in the change of guard?
Well, look, Shiv, this is going to be a tough one to answer at the moment. But I think Siddaramaiah, as I repeatedly say, Siddaramaiah is past his prime. The second term of Siddaramaiah government has not been up to the mark in many, many yardsticks and many, many standards. There's been a limbo in the state. And I think it was inevitable that he had to give way to somebody else. Now, is he going to do it with grace? Is it going to happen with the power lobbies all being taken along? Because this does not change the core Karnataka power lobby issue, Shiv.
Yeah.
And Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar, and Arun will bear me out on this, are just symptoms of the deep caste combinations and the power lobbies that live and exist within Karnataka. It represents different social sections, it represents different caste dynamics, power dynamics from the old Mysuru region. And I think those will remain a challenge for the Congress. But if they are able to effect this transition, and I think two things. One, there is an element of decisiveness from the Congress High Command if this decision is implemented. Number two, it will also mean that it's taking everybody on board. It depends very clearly on what Siddaramaiah is given. If he is made this taller national leader, if he is seen as this larger than life state leader and the big stature, which now is with Mallikarjun Kharge, if Siddaramaiah gets that kind of a stature, then I think he would play along and ensure that the transition is smooth. Because this transition is not just between two leaders, it's between two very, very different caste dynamics, between the Ahinda conglomeration to an OBC Vokkaliga conglomeration that's going to happen. So it's going to be fascinating for the Congress, because it's also a social experiment. After S.M. Krishna, it will be a return to the Vokkaliga base as far as DK Shivakumar is concerned for the Congress. So it'll be very, very interesting to watch how this changes and transitions, Shiv.
What the next 48 hours are going to look like, the immediate problem facing the High Command will be, Mr. Arun, hoping that the next 48 hours don't spring any big surprises. Assuming that a resignation by Siddaramaiah is the sort of light at the end of the leadership tunnel over the next 48 hours. Do you see any upheaval or turbulence in 48 hours? Is that possible?
Well, I don't think so. If Siddaramaiah has agreed in today's meeting to give up the chief ministership, and I don't think he will create any sort of problem. But then all eyes will be on him. Every move of his will be closely watched. What his supporters will say, what they demand, and what are the conditions that Siddaramaiah has set before the High Command as regards maybe his son as Deputy Chief Minister. I don't know whether that will happen. But then, the plump post for his supporters in the cabinet and various other things, and whether he has accepted the offer of the Rajya Sabha seat. So all this, are in the realm of speculation right now, and keen eyes will be on Siddaramaiah over the next 2 days, certainly.
You know, the High Command and how the High Command finally came together, to ensure that there was a clarity as far as a decision communicated to the two leaders today is going to be a matter of great speculation. And I want to bring, Veera back in on this because, Veera, we've been tracking this story for over a year now. And there was always some kind of an excuse. There would be after this election, after the Bihar election, after the Tamil Nadu election, after the Rajya Sabha. Before that, it was, the previous election cycles as well. There was always a sense that the decision was being deferred in order to buy time and to manage moods and manage ambitions and kick the can down the road. What was it about now, Veera, that, things came to a pass where a decision needed to be taken? Why couldn't it be deferred more?
Two things very clearly. 3 years down the line, 2 years, I thought it was already very, very late for DK Shivakumar to get it turned right now because there's not enough time to build for an election. You can't beat 3 years of anti-incumbency in just 2 years of a government. And if you're going to be the chief minister who's heading the party into an election, then you take the blame for a defeat as well. So 3 years done. 2 years was already late. Any further delay would mean going into the next election with Siddaramaiah. And that would mean a Vokkaliga backlash as well. Because let's not forget that the Vokkaliga vote plus the Ahinda conglomeration is what led to that fascinating victory for the Congress in 2023. There was a sense that the party had already lost the plot. Anti-incumbency was building. There was a sense of limbo. No decision was being taken. A cabinet reshuffle wouldn't happen. A change of guard in the state presidentship wouldn't happen. There were other leaders like Satish Jarkioli who wanted their pound of flesh. They wanted to become state Congress president. So there were many, many things that was left unattended to because of this power dynamic. And I think the Congress, there is a sense of decisiveness, as I'm saying, after the Kerala decision was taken, that it's time to take certain decisions. Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Karnataka, Shiv, you need to see this from a larger point of view. The speed at which they left the DMK alliance, a long, historic alliance, moved to the TVK, the way they went with Thiruvananthapuram over New Delhi as far as the choice of VD Satishan is concerned, and the decision as far as Karnataka means the Congress High Command has realized that it's finally time to bite the bullet. You cannot allow status quo and limbo to continue forever. That's there. And I think that's why this was the time for the decision. If it wasn't for now, Shiv, it would have meant not this term for DK Shivakumar. And I think the indication was very clear that if you can placate Siddaramaiah, and I think perhaps very different formulas was there, and it all boiled down to Rahul Gandhi coming and taking the decision, I would believe, as far as Siddaramaiah is concerned. But I also think there was a Priyanka Gandhi angle as well. And I think there's some changing power dynamic at the Congress, at the top, Shiv. A sense of decisiveness in taking some real tough decisions.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's the larger takeaway. Who knows?
That's, and that would be a huge takeaway. I'm glad you mentioned that, Veera, because so far in this entire Siddaramaiah versus DK saga, the narrative has been that this has made the High Command look weak. That, Siddaramaiah has been able to flex back at the High Command and not allow them to impose their writ on him. And therefore, this basically proves that this is a High Command that is enfeebled by, continuous election losses, etc. But now the Congress has a bit of a spring in its step. There's Kerala. There's a, electoral coup, a coalition coup, if I may call it that has happened in Tamil Nadu as well. And therefore, the Congress is in a better mood than it has been in a long time. And therefore, it did not want to let this Karnataka issue spoil the season. Jayanendra is also back with us. Jayanendra, I don't know if it's going to be a long night because, what needed to be said has been said. But I think what Veera mentioned is hugely important. And also B.S. Arun said, everyone's going to be keeping all their eyes on Siddaramaiah for the next 48 hours for certain. Every move is going to be scrutinized very closely, Jayanendra.
Definitely all eyes on Siddaramaiah only because, yes, he have been conveyed to resign and sources close to him are also indicating that he is going to resign. But whether he resigns or not in politics, nothing is final till it is official. So, of course, right now Siddaramaiah is still inside KJ George house and he was supposed to leave around 8, but it is getting late and meeting is still going on. He is supposed to leave Delhi and reach Bengaluru tonight only. but whether he will resign.
Jainendra, you're waiting outside KJ George's house to try and get a reaction from Siddaramaiah, right? Along with all the other journalists. That'll be the first reaction since the news broke of this possible change of guard. So that's what you're waiting there for, Jainendra?
Exactly. For his first reaction, because at Congress headquarters, I asked him about cabinet reshuffle. That what discussion was cabinet reshuffle, whether cabinet reshuffle was discussed, and he replied that no, it was not on our agenda. And after that, he sat and left Congress headquarters, and from there he have reached KJ George house, and we all are waiting that when he will come out, we will try to take his reaction, or will try to understand his body language. But whether he will resign, our colleague Deepak Bopanna is reporting that his supporters are trying to convince him that you should not resign. So naturally, we may see pressure politics in Bengaluru next 2-3 days. Whether
can we go full frame on Jainendra's frame for just a minute? I want to show you where Siddaramaiah is right now. He's in KJ George's house, Minister KJ George's house. He's in that building right behind you, where you see Jainendra, my colleague, standing. Siddaramaiah is inside there. He's going to come out, and we're going to try and get a soundbite from him in just a moment from now. And that will be Siddaramaiah's first reaction since NDTV broke the news that there is a possible change of guard that's going to take place in the next couple of days. The High Command has communicated to him that the transfer of power needs to happen and that he may resign in the next 2 days, and DK Shivakumar could take over. What Jainendra was saying is correct. There's breaking news coming in. Already the noises have begun from both the camps. Let's put that breaking news on air right now. Some leaders close to Siddaramaiah are unhappy with what they're hearing now about his impending decision to step down as Chief Minister of Karnataka, and they are urging Siddaramaiah to weigh all his options before taking a final call. Now, what those options are, I am not equipped to guess what those are, but I'll bring Veera in to weigh in on this. Veera, understandably, his supporters are saying, don't give in so easily. What are they expecting him to do?
If he decides to make it messy, the Congress High Command cannot afford to effect this change. Shiv, at this stage, he has to be on board as far as the decision's concerned. And this has been the truth. I remember back in 2013, when I was reporting on the Karnataka election results, I remember the anchor asking me, who do you think will be the chief minister at that time outside the KPCC office? And I said categorically Siddaramaiah, because if he was not made chief minister, he'll break the party. And that's the Siddaramaiah strength. He has been the man who has been dictating his terms with force. No Congress General Secretary, whether it was Digvijay Singh, and I've seen them come and go, they have not been able to make him toe the line. He is not a meek, he will not play ball with anyone and everyone. And I think there is categorical that if he is not on board, a decision cannot be effected. And I think for him to be on board, it had to be Rahul Gandhi, because it was Rahul Gandhi who brought him in the Congress, who delivered on the promise the first time to make him chief minister. And I think Siddaramaiah also believes and realizes that the Congress has stood its end of the bargain to him, and he needs to step aside. What his loyalists are urging for, Shiv, is perhaps for Siddaramaiah to push to get them better postings and better posts at the end of the day. Everyone's going to be bargaining. But I don't think, if it's come down to that kind of a discussion at the top, I do not see Siddaramaiah making it a messy affair. But who knows what happens in politics?
Who knows what happens in politics? The one thing we can all be sure of, Deepak, coming to you, is that Siddaramaiah, is a leader who certainly has the capacity to give the High Command and the Congress a great deal of pain. Whether or not that happens, of course, is the big question. As Veera said, we'll have to wait to see what happens in 48 hours. But you're reporting that loyalists apparently are dialing Siddaramaiah, saying, don't give in so easily, weigh all your options. Why should we accept this transfer of power? It's not easy for Camp Siddaramaiah right now, Deepak.
Absolutely not. And there are some leaders who've banked their entire political careers on Mr. Siddaramaiah. What happens to their future? This is the question that lies before them. So for them, and in politics, many of them are going to think about themselves as well. As much as they love Mr. Siddaramaiah, they've revered him, they've, wanted to see him reach greater heights. But at the end of the day, they wanted to grow with him as well politically.
Yeah.
And now they realize all of that will be stunted. That is something that's on their mind. But they're very strongly urging Chief Minister Siddaramaiah right now to weigh all his options after they've learned, about this decision that he could possibly step down in the next couple of days. They're saying that you still need to look at what are the options before you probably speak to the High Command once again. But as of now, we should consider one thing. The same situation, say 8 years ago, it would have been completely different. But right now, Mr. Siddaramaiah is towards the fag end of his political career. He himself has said that he is not interested in electoral politics anymore. So right now, really rebelling, going against the likes of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, going against Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge and their wishes, how will it really portray him in front of people who've always seen him as their champion, as a champion of Hindas, as a champion of the backward classes? For them, he'll have to really, transit in a way which is of a leader befitting his stature. So this is something that he has been apprised of as well by some of his close aides. So
Yeah.
he will really consider all of this, Shiv, because a transition from Mr. Siddaramaiah is not going to be a smooth one. He's one of the tallest leaders that's the southern part of India, and possibly the Congress party has had, and the longest serving chief minister, the one who's presented a record number of budgets. So it is, all of this has to be really considered when we look at this transition. But the pressure is definitely on from his close aides to really weigh all his options. But at this juncture in his career, does he really have too many options? That's the bigger question.
And also, until Veera, until there is a sort of clean transfer of power, post resignation and post swearing in, etc. DK Shivakumar will sleep with one eye open. He's not going to trust this transfer of power until it actually happens.
Both eyes open, sir. He'll have to keep both eyes open till this transfer of power happens. And I think the Congress High Command will also have to keep both eyes open. It's only Siddaramaiah who can sleep with both eyes closed because he's got all the cards right now. So the question of what's going to happen next, I think, Shiv, is, as Deepak was pointing out, it's Siddaramaiah's state as far as his political career is concerned. He's well past his prime. I don't think he has it in him to break the Congress, to fight, to create instability. I think it's once the High Command has decided and has said that this decision needs to be taken, I think he will play along. But how long he's going to play along and how troublesome it's going to be to keep him together will depend on what he is offered. And I'm sure that the Congress High Command has also understood that Siddaramaiah's relevance, much like B.S. Yediyurappa is for the BJP, Siddaramaiah's relevance as the leader of the backward classes. Remember, while the Vokkaliga caste that D.K. Shivakumar represents is under the OBC list, in Karnataka's political context, the Vokkaligas are seen as the dominant upper caste.
Yeah.
It's the Ahinda conglomeration that's seen as the larger representative of the backward classes. And Siddaramaiah is really the face of that backward classes. The Congress cannot alienate that. So I think there will be very, very interesting dynamics. You have Mallikarjun Kharge as well. I would be very keenly watching what the road ahead is, Shiv. And I think the contours of what next, we will have to be very careful in saying that is certain. No, it's not. How it's going to play out will emerge and unravel itself over the next week.
Arun, what would DK Shivakumar be looking for right now? If the communication has happened from the High Command side, between now and the resignation, does he get to rest, or, as Veera said, sleep with both eyes open and hope that things go smoothly until the transfer of power and beyond also?
Yes, no resting, not just transfer of power, even after that, because he will be watching what Siddaramaiah and his supporters would be doing. Siddaramaiah's support base runs very deep in the Congress legislature party, and it's not Shivakumar. Shivakumar doesn't have that much support, but Siddaramaiah has a large MLA base.
Yeah.
So that which means that he will be very carefully watching what these MLAs would be doing, and the every decision that stays the cabinet or every move of Shivakumar would be conveyed to Siddaramaiah. So there's a, the untold war, the Cold War between the two will continue for quite a long time.
Yeah,
At the same
yeah.
time, Shiv, my speculation is that Siddaramaiah will demand the chiefness, the KPCC presidentship for a close follower of his. Satish Jarkiholy, the current PWD minister, is already there demanding that position. So that will, sort of shift a little bit of balance towards the Siddaramaiah camp. And these are the things that, Siddaramaiah might have asked the High Command. One, that his supporters should be given plum posts in the cabinet.
Yeah.
Number two, the KPCC president's post, and then the boards and corporations and things like that. Because High Command is aware that MLAs, in a large number support Siddaramaiah. So they just can't take him for granted. He has to be placated. He has to be taken into confidence. All his demands need to be met. So there are many things that even Shivakumar, will be seeking the advice. Because if you want to win the next election, the support of Siddaramaiah is very, very essential.
That's a great point, and I'm going to come to that in just a moment, about looking ahead now, battle readiness for the upcoming assembly election in Karnataka and then the big election in 2029 are all going to be factors in what the mood is among these leaders. Neither of them, the High Command cannot afford for either of them, to kind of throw in the towel and be in a bad mood and, and simmer and kind of,
That's right.
not play ball on the road to the next few elections. That's simply not possible. That's why it's been such an incredible tightrope walk as we've been reporting. I'm going to come back to all of you in a moment, just reminding our viewers about what K.C. Venugopal, who is the organization General Secretary of the Congress, here's what he said immediately after that 6-hour-long meeting between the leaders.
Today, entire discussion is only concentrated on coming Rajya Sabha elections and council elections of Karnataka. Whatever speculation you people are doing, that is only speculation, no reality at all. Today we discussed about the Rajya Sabha seats and the council seats of Karnataka.
Okay, nothing is over until it's over is something I want to continue to emphasize here on NDTV, because like Veera, Deepak, all of us have been saying, in politics, until the ribbon is tied and the bow is, set, anything can happen, and especially in Indian politics, and this is power politics of an especially ruthless brand. So let's be circumspect about that at least, but we are reporting that change is coming. The change of guard has been communicated, but the next 48 hours is going to be critical. I want to bring Jainendra in on a question that I had on my mind and I've had through today. Jainendra, Sonia Gandhi's imprint is usually quite visible in complex decisions of the Congress High Command. Was it there today? Because she was not there physically. We know Rahul Gandhi was there. I don't know about Priyanka Gandhi. Her preference was reported to be DK Shivakumar. But, the absence of an Ahmed Patel and an overall sort of unifying decision maker like Sonia Gandhi, I didn't sense that was there. Was she involved in today's decision at all?
No, whether she was involved or not, that I cannot confirm or deny, Shiv, but I asked one top source close to Gandhi family, and he said that even Priyanka ji wants change and she's actively participating in the deliberations, and she's supporting DK Shivakumar. And then I asked, what about Sonia ji? He said that Sonia ji is also for change. So this is all source based. But during the meeting, between the meeting, there was 1 hour lunch break. And in that break, Rahul Gandhi left Congress headquarters and went to his house, 10 Janpat, which is actually his mother's house, Sonia Gandhi's house. And there it is understood that he might have discussed this issue with Sonia Gandhi. And without Sonia Gandhi's go ahead. Even Rahul Gandhi could
Yeah,
not have
yeah.
taken this decision because Siddaramaiah was appointed in 2013 by Sonia Gandhi only. So it is understood that Sonia Gandhi was also for this decision.
Okay,
Then
so Sonia Gandhi's imprint was there on this decision as well. Rahul Gandhi, very importantly, like you first reported, Jainendra had gone and had lunch with his mother, and there obviously it stands to reason that he must have briefed her and got her take on this whole thing as well. Veera, same question to you. The Sonia Gandhi factor. Karnataka is an important state for the Congress party. It has a legacy relationship with it going back to Indira Gandhi as well. So this is not just any state for the Congress party.
And I think the bigger optics, Shiv, is that there was no Kharge at the end when it came down to the final optics of DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah coming. Let's not forget Mallikarjun Kharge is a towering personality as far as the Congress is concerned. I think this is also decisively moving beyond the Kharge era. The decision to stay with the DMK was attributed to Mallikarjun Kharge. In a sense, the indecisiveness as far as Kerala was concerned was set aside with a categorical decision, and I think it's also moving forward to KC Venugopal taking that decision and stepping back as far as that power tussle is concerned, interestingly, in Kerala. I think the more important optics is about Kharge. Is it because Kharge himself is a contender for the chief minister's post? I don't know. But I think the fact that Sonia Gandhi's decision was important in 2013 to now, I'm thinking that there could be a clear generational shift. But the fact is that the family is one, and I'm sure that Sonia Gandhi was consulted and the decision was part of it, because I believe that when it came to the decision as far as VD Satishan, Sonia Gandhi had spoken to AK Antony and taken his counsel as well. So she's very much part of the loop as far as the Congress decision-making process is concerned. And about pacifying, whether it's a DK Shivakumar or a Siddaramaiah, the ability of Rahul and Sonia Gandhi is much greater than any other Congress leader. No other Congress leader can pacify a disgruntled congressman except the Gandhi. So I'm sure she's on board with the decision, but I think the missing optics of Kharge is also something that we need to discuss and perhaps take seriously.
Yeah, very, very true. Sonia Gandhi unfortunately doesn't enjoy very good health at this time, and we wish her the best always. So she's had to take a bit of a backseat as far as active politicking is concerned, with the Congress's many issues, but she has had a calming effect, and I think that's an important point that Veera raises. Whenever there's been an impasse, she's been the one they really go to try and appeal to all sides to see sense and come to some kind of a rational decision. Here I want to play out what DK Shivakumar said a couple of days before they rushed to Delhi late last night. This was a soundbite that a lot of people interpreted in different ways about waiting for a Shubh Muhurat. Here's what DK Shivakumar had said.
ಯಾವಾಗ ಸಿಎಂ
ಟೈಮು ಮುಹೂರ್ತ ಎಲ್ಲ
ಹಿರಿಯರಿ ಮಾತಾಡಲಿ ಸರ್
ನೀವೇ ಇದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ದೇವತೆಗಳು ಜನರೇ. ಟೈಮ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಗುಡ್ ಟೈಮ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್.
Okay, I want to go back to Deepak now. Deepak, just as a matter of information now, the Chief Minister of Karnataka, Siddaramaiah, is currently with KJ George in Delhi, expecting to come back to Bengaluru tonight. Are you hearing anything about what his plans are? Is he going to be going into a huddle late at night, or what his schedule might look like tomorrow? Because now that the decision has apparently been communicated, the ball is sort of in his court now, Deepak.
Yes, the initial round of conversation that happened today revolved around that, especially when that conversation happened between Mr. Siddaramaiah and Mr. Rahul Gandhi. That's where there was a little bit of a back and forth that did happen. Mr. Siddaramaiah put forth his point of view about this transition and what he feels about it. At that point in time, there was some convincing that went on, but it was a pretty stern and clear message that came in from Mr. Rahul Gandhi himself, that this is now time for the transition. And that's where, it looks like, Mr. Siddaramaiah finally agreed upon. Then we had Mr. Rahul Gandhi leave from there, return, and then you had Mr. KC Venugopal come out and make that announcement. And at that point in time, Shiv, we were live and we just spoke about...
Deepak, stay with me. Deepak, stay with me. It looks like Mr. Siddaramaiah is leaving from KJ George's residence in Delhi. Jainendra is right there, standing guard, as you can see, right in front of that gate. to ensure that we try and get a reaction from Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. Jainendra, is that meeting over? You're hearing some movement there?
Yes, we are observing movement, and any time from now, Siddaramaiah's car will come out of KJ George House. Security is on alert, and I don't think but that he will give some reaction, because his vehicle is inside and he will sit inside, and when the vehicle will come out, I don't think he will open his window. And even the time is not suitable for him to react. So, but still we will try. And sources have said that all ministers, KJ George, G. Parmeshwara, and other ministers who had come to Delhi with Siddaramaiah yesterday, all are going with the Chief Minister to Bengaluru. Yesterday, Siddaramaiah came to Delhi in a chartered flight, and he is now returning. Any moment from now, Siddaramaiah's vehicle will come out, and he'll go straight away to airport, and from there he will fly to Bengaluru. So Shiv, anytime Siddaramaiah's vehicle will leave from KJ George House, and still whether he will react or not,
okay, the
we will
car's
try. You
coming
can
out.
see
The
now.
car's coming out. There's Siddaramaiah. There is Chief
Vehicle
Minister
is-
Siddaramaiah coming out. Let's see if he
He's coming
stops
out,
and
yes.
says anything to the journalists waiting there. He's inside the car, sitting in that front seat.
Siddaramaiah ji,
Are you going to step down, sir? Are you going to step down?
are you going to resign, sir?
Sir?
Sir.
Sir?
Sir, have party leadership told you to resign, sir? Sir, have party asked
Sir,
you
are
to
you
resign?
going to step down, sir? Siddha, sir?
Siddaramaiah
Are
ji.
you going to step down, sir?
Sir, are you resigning, sir? So there you can see Siddaramaiah without any reaction.
Yeah, we
He left for-
can hear you, Jainendra. Go ahead. We saw you
he-
trying to get an answer
leave
from
for
Siddaramaiah, but he
Bengaluru.
wasn't in the mood.
So Siddaramaiah was not in mood, and he was looking little bit upset, and now his cavalcade has moved for airport from KJ George House, and then now we can expect his reaction in Bengaluru only, maybe tonight or tomorrow. And it is yet to be seen whether he will resign in coming 2 days. We tried to ask him whether he has been asked to resign and whether he is resigning. But as you saw clearly, he was not in a mood to answer, and he have left for Bengaluru.
No, so these pictures that you're looking at right now are of in the blue shirt. There is Jainendra, and he is the journalist right in front with NDTV's red mic, trying to get a reaction from Siddaramaiah. He didn't even roll his window down. Didn't look very happy. I don't want to read too much into that, because Mr. Siddaramaiah usually has a pretty grim expression on his face, and that would align with what we are reporting, that he has been informed that a power swap has to take place, and he has to give way to a new chief minister in the next couple of days, starting with his resignation. So Siddaramaiah has left from Minister KJ George's house, presumably will be leaving from the airport shortly, or going to Karnataka Bhavan and returning to Bengaluru tonight. So the political ball is now in Siddaramaiah's court. All eyes will be on what he does over the next couple of days before what we are expecting will be a resignation. Will there be a rebellion or a resignation? Is a question I want to continuously, cautiously ask, because in politics, nothing is over until all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. And until that moment, there will be suspense and there will be tension in the Congress High Command as to what could happen. Jainendra, if you can still hear me amidst that media scrum, quickly want to come back to you. What was this meeting with KJ George about? Routine meeting? Or just taking forward discussions? What was this about?
So this meeting was a pre-scheduled Shiv. People close to Siddaramaiah had already informed us that after leaving Congress headquarters, after the meeting, he will come at KJ George House, and some dinner was planned for close ministers of Siddaramaiah. This is KJ George House, and Siddaramaiah was the came here along with him. MB Patil, G Parmeshwar, B Suresh. They are ministers. They all were present, and together they have all left with Siddaramaiah for Bengaluru. So this was pre-scheduled, but naturally, what the outcome of meeting must have been discussed, and the body language was suggesting, and as our sources are informing, that leadership have asked him to resign, and now it is all up to Siddaramaiah that what he will do.
I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you, Jainendra, in just a moment. DK Shivakumar, live pictures of DK Shivakumar in Delhi. He's just emerged from his own meeting. I'm just going to give you the location in a moment. My producers are just updating me on the location of these pictures. This could be Karnataka Bhavan. That's DK Shivakumar. I think he is going to be leaving Delhi very shortly. He's meeting with his supporters and others here. This is Karnataka Bhavan, I was right. That's where DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah are both staying. He's getting into a vehicle. We'll have our reporters live. So pictures of both the leaders who will be front and center in Karnataka. One will be giving way to the other according to the information we have and according to what the High Command has communicated. This is what sources are telling us. Nothing is formal or confirmed until it is finally over. On the left-hand side of your screen, if the High Command gets what it has communicated, the man on the left-hand side of your screen will cease to be Chief Minister in a couple of days from now, and the man on the right-hand side of your screen, DK Shivakumar, will be the new Chief Minister of Karnataka. But that is what the High Command hopes will happen. We'll have to see what happens in the next couple of days. Remember that the Congress has a track record of its leaders pretty much doing what they want and giving a lot of heartburn to the High Command despite firm instructions on what needs to be done. We've seen that happen in Rajasthan. We've seen that happen in Punjab as well. There are other examples of where leaders have, marched to their own drumbeat, and therefore it is always dangerous to conclude that this story is over. The Karnataka Game of Thrones is still very much on. It is still very much active until the change of guard formally takes place. Live pictures on NDTV's cameras, not second-hand, of Siddaramaiah, of DK Shivakumar, shortly after a historic meeting that the High Command has held with both of them. The High Command has tried to project it as a routine and innocuous meeting about Rajya Sabha seats, but NDTV's political team has obviously washed that completely away, because this was, we can confirm to you, a change of guard meeting where Mr. Siddaramaiah has been categorically told, according to our sources, that the change of guard needs to happen, and it could happen as early as this week in Bengaluru. Both leaders will be heading back to Bengaluru, and there could be a new Chief Minister in Karnataka in just the next couple of days if the High Command has its way. That's what they've communicated. Now they'll have to wait and see what happens. Okay, so we're leaving you with these two pictures, these live pictures of both the leaders on NDTV's cameras right after that big NDTV news break. Neither of them wants to comment or react or opine on what we are reporting here on NDTV, understandably, but we'll try and still track them down and get them to react. Quick break, back with much more after this.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला डिलीशियस हेल्दी every day.
Where the software engineer meets the gifted content writer, meets the cool UI UX designer, meets the talented photographer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
Full of these people. Kolkata trap. The highest number of voters. Tamil Nadu votes decisive.
I've always liked NDTV. It's the most reliable news channel more than anything.
TVK headquarters here.
A lot of thanks for NDTV. Congratulations to NDTV.
thank the team for their incredible coverage of the Tamil Nadu election so far.
Fast moving, but still relaxed. Informative, but still unbiased.
So I really love the channel. I saw Shiv sir and I was really excited to meet him and tell hi. So I'm really happy I met you, sir. Thank you so much.
Happy meeting NDTV team here.
Thanks for NDTV.
Padmija Joshi, this is Shreya Ghosh, Rapandeep Chaudhary,
Manogya Loiwal,
This is Vic.
Tanushka Datta,
Sam Daniel,
Ramaswamy, Rituraj Purohit.
Shiv Arur.
To all our viewers who've joined us, thank you very much for spending your time, for trusting NDTV.
Launch control 0 to 100.
This isn't just about cars and bikes. This is about how you move.
This car makes no sense, yet it makes every sense.
What we are sitting inside is a Joby-powered air taxi. Your friend said, "Ye le le." We said, maybe not. Hi, my name is Siddaramaiah Sharma. I'm your NDTV Automate, your ultimate guide into the world of automobiles and mobility.
When others are warming up, I'm raring to go. The stories that matter, the stories that shape your life.
Hello and welcome to watching Prime 5 with me, Raisha Sehgal. What's at stake? How to
The show that sets the prime time agenda.
We'll be deep diving into this topic to tell you what's at stake.
Join me, Raisha Sehgal, on Prime 5, only on NDTV 24/7.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा मसाला।
Welcome, you're on India Matters this Tuesday night with me, Shivakumar. Let's get you straight to the big stories. The big electoral news break here on NDTV is that there is going to be a change of guard in Karnataka. Finally, is the Game of Thrones coming to an end? We'll tell you more. First, the headlines. After 24 hours of a chief minister Nataka in India's capital, sources tell NDTV Siddaramaiah has been told to step aside this week. Decks cleared for DK Shivakumar to be the new chief minister of Karnataka, but nothing is over until it's over. Mekedatu Dam showdown heats up after Tamil Nadu versus Karnataka war of words. Now Chief Minister Vijay writes to Prime Minister Modi, seeks rejection of the proposal. The new chief minister of Tamil Nadu is slated to be in Delhi tomorrow, where he will be meeting Amit Shah and Prime Minister Modi. The four Quad countries discuss maritime security, economic and energy resilience in the Delhi summit. China opposes the creation of exclusive small cliques after the huddle of India, the United States, Japan and Australia. That's called the Quad. Centre forms panel to assess demographic shifts due to infiltration. Home Minister Amit Shah says panel to analyze patterns of abnormal population shifts across regions, religions and social communities. After the Kantara mimicry case, Ranveer Singh visits the famous Chamundeshwari temple in Mysuru, Karnataka, offers apologies to the deity, apology after a rap from the High Court. And coming up on the show tonight, is it CM Badlisi in Karnataka? Is DK Shivakumar finally set to take the throne, as our sources are telling us? I'll tell you why there could be some rumbles ahead. My second big story tonight, the most shameful in my view, rape, murder, and he still gets 16 vacations from jail in the last 9 years. It is incredible that India's most high-profile and powerful rape and murder convict has the government and judiciary almost completely at his service. That's the big story. Let's get started with the breaking story tonight. Siddaramaiah, the Chief Minister of Karnataka, could resign as Chief Minister of Karnataka as early as tomorrow, is what NDTV can now report to you, and that DK Shivakumar will be the next Chief Minister of Karnataka. Sources are telling us it could happen as early as tomorrow, and Bengaluru will have a new boss in DK Shivakumar as early as tomorrow. The first reaction from Siddaramaiah has also come in. Well, it's not really a reaction because NDTV attempted to get a word in from him, but as you can see in these pictures that are on your screen right now, his car moved past with Mr. Siddaramaiah choosing not to say anything. Siddaramaiah has briefed his loyalists and supporters on the decision, Sources are telling us that Siddaramaiah will abide by the top brass decision. So that is the big breaking story at this point of time. Veera Raghav continues to be with me on this unfolding political drama in Karnataka between Delhi and Bengaluru. Veera, Siddaramaiah understandably not giving us a soundbite. Jainendra, you saw there, attempting to get a reaction from the Chief Minister. Not really in a mood to say anything right now. There are many things to think about. He's got a lot on his mind. We're hearing that the change of guard will happen as early as tomorrow, but probably sometime this week, Veera.
That's right. He's an old world politician. Let's not forget that this is the old socialist, and I think he wants to meet and speak to all his loyalists. And you were asking before we slipped into the break in the earlier show, Shiv, what was he doing at KJ George's residence? I think that's what he was doing there. He was sending the message across to his loyalists and his confidants about what really happened. And I think the message that we are picking up secondhand from his loyalists and people close to him is that he has said that the High Command was decisive and we will abide by it and we will go together. So I don't think there will be any friction at the moment, and I think all has been discussed. We may expect a resignation as early as tomorrow, perhaps latest day after, as Deepak Bhupanna was reporting earlier, Shiv. So I think the message coming from the Siddaramaiah camp and his loyalists is very clear, that Siddaramaiah will play along with this decision, allow for a smooth transition of power in Karnataka. It's also beginning to be extremely clear it will be DK Shivakumar who will take over. Obviously, 24 hours is a long time in politics, but I think the sense that I'm getting from all those who are close to Siddaramaiah is that they are not happy, they are disappointed, but then it's going to be a game that's going to be well played along with the High Command, and Siddaramaiah will step aside and give way for the change of guard in Karnataka.
And the pains of transition are going to be there, Veera, and it's going to be interesting to see what those pains actually look like. There's a certain trauma in transition. People have, yoked their wagons to one power center or the other. So when the power shifts, obviously there's going to be a sense of disarray and, whether people are going to have the same amount of access, etc. The center of gravity sort of shifts. Who's going to be the next, Congress president in the state? All of these things will be up in the air, and hopefully, the dust will settle on them. But Siddaramaiah apparently signaling to his loyalists that he is going to abide by this decision and, requesting them to follow these directions as well. Moments ago, my colleague, and I'm going to bring my guests in. Veera continues to stay with me. My guests will be joining me in just a moment. But moments ago, my colleague Jainendra Kumar tracked Siddaramaiah's vehicle leaving Minister KJ George's residence. Just look at these pictures. He attempted to get a word in from Siddaramaiah, but here's what happened.
Siddaramaiah ji,
are you going to step down, sir? Are you going to step down?
Are you going to resign, sir?
Sir,
sir, sir, have party leadership told you to resign, sir? Sir, have party asked you to resign?
Are you going to step down, sir? Siddha, sir.
Siddaramaiah ji.
Are you going to step down, sir?
Sir, are you resigning, sir?
Okay, so Siddaramaiah, not surprisingly, perhaps not wanting to say very much right now, doesn't want to give out too much, perhaps, of what's on his mind and what his emotions are right now, but understandably is in touch with his loyalists and has conveyed, that he will abide by what the High Command has told him. So as early as tomorrow, the resignation could take place and the change of guard could take place. So potentially, a change of guard and a new chief minister could happen sometime by the end of this week. I'm joined by Jainendra Kumar, our assistant editor, who valiantly attempted to get that first reaction from Siddaramaiah, but he doesn't want to speak, obviously. R.K. Upadhyay, senior journalist, Chandan Gowda, political commentator and author, Sandeep Shastri, political analyst. Welcome to all of you. Veera, of course, continues to be with me. Sandeep Shastri, I want to kick it off with you. Journalists have gotten sort of used to this story meandering without end, for months and years, always expecting that somehow it will be managed and a decision will be deferred or postponed. Now it looks like, a decision has been made.
Shiv, there are times when a decision cannot be postponed beyond a point. And I think the High Command has already taken too much of time on this decision. I have always been maintaining over the last 2 months that it is not if, but when DK Shivakumar will take over. Right from that time when we talked of the 2.5 year so-called contract. The issue was always in the air. But given what happened in Chhattisgarh, given what happened in Rajasthan, there were a lot of doubts which people had in their minds as to whether actually the switchover will happen. But given the nature of Karnataka politics and given the issues in play and given the fact that if the Congress wants to retain or have some chance of hoping to retain power in 2028, it was important that a new leader, if there was to be a new leader, was in place well in advance of that election. And that seems to be happening. But as Veera said, I don't think the last act in the play has yet been played out. You may still have some drama erupting in the next 48 hours. We don't know what shape it would take, but I'm sure there is a lot of bargaining going on all sides as to what should happen, who should the new Congress president in the state be, how many deputy chief ministers should there be, what do you give Siddaramaiah? All this bargaining will, I'm sure, be going on behind the scenes.
Okay, so there may be some surprises that are left to be sprung. Chandan Gowda, how do you see what's going to happen over the next 48 hours? Is it going to be a smooth sort of transition or picture abhi baki hai?
No, the transition is certain to happen, but I'm not sure if it will happen in the next 48 hours.
Okay.
Especially if Siddaramaiah has been offered a Rajya Sabha seat and if he's likely to take it. And if that's going to happen, then they'll wait until the last date for the Rajya Sabha nominations happens, that will be June 8th. And also there are 4 MLC seats to be decided too around that time. So we might have to wait for a couple of weeks, because if the names are not now, there'll be all kinds of wranglings around who got it, who didn't get it. And that's the last thing you want at this stage when a CM transition is being planned. So my guess is we need to wait 2 weeks. I don't know where you got the news about him being willing to resign tomorrow morning, but let's see. I mean, this is my sense.
Okay. R.K. Upadhyay, when we were speaking this morning, you had said that, this seemed like D.K. Shivakumar's moment. It seems like that's precisely the direction in which this is headed. Again, I will remind everyone of the caution that NDTV exercises. Until it's over, nothing is over in politics. But the direction appears to be pretty clear that a change of guard is ahead.
Veera and Shiv, looking at those images of, right now it's coming, Siddaramaiah, grim-faced Siddaramaiah going out and reporters asking, when are you going to resign?
Yeah.
I see a mirror image of 1992 when I was in Delhi as a special correspondent with Indian Express. Yes, Bangarappa had been asked to resign by P.V. Narasimha Rao. Similar scenes at the airport. We went there asking him, are you going to resign? He just shut the window. So, history is repeating itself. And he had to go back and resign. Of course, he thought he will have his MLAs coming to the airport in hundreds, and then, he will be able to rebel. But it didn't happen. There are only 6 MLAs, Congress MLAs, who came to the airport to receive him. That is when he made up his mind to resign. If Siddaramaiah has agreed to step down, as we are reporting, I think it will be very, very gracious of him. Because it's not easy for a leader of his stature, of his caliber, of his competence, of his experience, to quit just like that. Just because, a family has asked him. I would say a family because I think the decision was made when Rahul Gandhi went home, talked to his mother and sister. Probably that's when the decision was clinched. Till then, they were just, fishing in the dark and nothing had been decided. It is possible that Sonia Gandhi must have made a commitment to Shivakumar.
Correct.
In 2023, May 18th, when she was contacted in Himachal Pradesh, she must have said, yes, you will get your chance midway through. Probably she wanted to, honor that. So she might have told her son that, we need to honor it. And that's the reason why probably this decision has been taken, if it has been taken.
Deepak, are you anticipating any, protests or any shows of emotion from either camp? They've been told by the High Command to hold on to their emotions and no power projection or celebrations or protests or crying or weeping or anything of that kind. But emotions will be running high at this point of time.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm sure the MLAs will.
It will be,
that was to Deepak.
and there is a lot being reported right now. But Shiv, one thing is very clear that no announcement is going to come in from anybody other than Mr. Siddaramaiah. That's becoming amply clear. Because if a decision had to come in from the High Command, it would have happened in Delhi earlier in the day. Mr. DK Shivakumar is refusing to utter a word at this point in time because he realizes that Mr. Siddaramaiah allowing him of a smooth transition is something that's as equally important as the High Command urging upon him to step down. Because here is a leader, who is known to make or break political scenarios, and he may be towards the end of his political career, but you cannot rule out a little bit of a fight left in him. And I'm very specific when I say this. Multiple people I've been speaking to, nobody wants to really jump the gun and say anything. I in fact went a step ahead and spoke to a few people and asked them if there's any preparation happening for an oath-taking ceremony, and nobody is saying a word about it. So that means that they're completely relying on Mr. Siddaramaiah to allow this transition to happen at his will, completely his will. And what it would essentially mean is that they will still project him as one of the tallest leaders, because they do need him. If Congress wants to have a fighting chance in the next election with the incumbency and all those factors combined, they'll really need his political prowess, they'll need his experience, they'll need his mass appeal. And Mr. DK Shivakumar understands that there are a lot of MLAs who back him. But one thing is very clear, Shiv, when the High Command's will becomes clear to the MLAs, many of those fence-sitter MLAs, when we always predicted the number of Mr. DK Shivakumar and how many MLAs could be backing him, now with this information that is becoming very clear that the Congress High Commands will see this transition and make Mr. DK Shivakumar the Chief Minister is becoming clear, there will be a lot of fence-sitter MLAs now who will start backing Mr. DK Shivakumar. So, politics is always about opportunity, and many of them will sense that. The next 48 hours is going to be vital, and we are going to see hectic political developments in the state of Karnataka.
Veera, what specifically will you be looking out for in the next 48 hours? What could happen? What will you be specifically looking out for?
I believe there has to be a Congress Legislature Party meeting, Congress Legislature Party meeting that needs to decide who the next Chief Minister will be. Irrespective of what the decision is taken in New Delhi, it has to be ratified by the CLP, and that's a process, right? Number one. And I'm just going to add to what Chandan was saying. Yes, I was also surprised when I spoke to this source who said this could happen, as Deepak was reporting, within 2 days. Because initially my own sense was this could perhaps draw out for the next 1 week or so. But what I was told by the source is categorical shift. The longer you delay it, after a decision has been made, the more chaotic that it becomes, there could be more drama. So it's better to allow the decision to be effected immediately instead of allowing it to linger on for too long. And I think Siddaramaiah will send out the optics, as Deepak rightly pointed out. Everyone's waiting for Siddaramaiah to make the decision, because this is not going to be going down as a decision taken by the High Command, enforced on Siddaramaiah. It's got to go down as a mutual consensus decision where he allows way for the next change of guard. And this is not just important for the administration shift. It's important for taking the backward classes along as far as Karnataka politics is concerned. The Congress cannot afford a backlash, both in terms of MLAs and in terms of the social coalition. So I believe that the decision, it will happen sooner than later. And then Siddaramaiah will remain Chief Minister till the next swearing-in happens. There has to be a decision on a Congress Legislature Party, because at the moment he's the leader of the Congress Legislature Party. Whether that happens before Siddaramaiah puts in his papers, we don't know. So you see, the whole idea is to avoid drama, contain drama, allow any kind of theatrics. And that's important to tie to that, is to get these things done fast, because the longer it prolongs, the greater the scope for drama and uncertainty.
Yeah, and an honorable and a sort of dignified transfer is what the High Command will be hoping for, because that will mean everything to Siddaramaiah, even as we sort of speculate upon this whole Rajya Sabha affair. Yeah, Chandan had a point. Chandan, go ahead.
Yes, Veera, if what you say is to happen, it's possible that a 6-hour meeting today, it's possible that many of the things that are essential for a transition have been worked out. For example, the Shiv Arur's point about backward class leadership. Satish Jarkioli has emerged as a young, face for the backward classes. If he's made the KPCC president and GK Shivakumar made the CM, actually they've taken care of the vacuum that Siddaramaiah would have left by his exit. So it's possible that a nice transition arrangement has been worked out in the 6 hours that was spent today. But I think because of the Rajya Sabha, the other seats and those sorts of promises, that might make them delay. And really, Veera, if you think about it, they've delayed the whole process by months. So an additional 2 weeks is not going to seem like a huge factor in implementing that shift.
But Sandeep Shastri, you would agree that, letting this kind of carry on beyond a couple of days or beyond this week, is risky. As Veera said, you don't want chaos to kind of enter the room now that a decision has been communicated.
I would cast my vote with what Veera said. I think they would want to contain any drama. They would want to limit any drama. And I think a lot of issues would have been sorted out in the 6 hours today. So I think there is always, if there has to be a change, there has already been a delay in doing the change. So I think the logic would much more be that let's do it, what we are planning to do as quickly as we can. And therefore, legislature party meeting, choosing a new leader. And the next position for the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah could always be sorted out in the coming days. Rajya Sabha, they could well be announcing a Rajya Sabha nomination for him. So that could happen. But I think if there is no major drama that is played out in the next 2 days, I will not be surprised if the party decides to go in for a shift much earlier than delaying it too long.
When this Mr. Upadhyay, when this transition takes place, it's not like
Shiv, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Shiv. I believe somebody just sent me a message saying, do not rule out the possibility of a CLP meeting being there and Siddaramaiah going with the legislatures and with the next person that they've chosen to show that he is doing the transition really smooth. So I think there are multiple things that are being worked out in terms of the optics of this, Shiv, in terms of how this is going to go down. I think once we have clarity on when a CLP meeting is going to take place, then I think everything else will fall in place.
Very important, and that's also when I'll be booking my tickets to Bengaluru. Yeah, but Mr. Upadhyay, very quickly to you on this, the change of guard will happen, but Siddaramaiah continues to be a factor, because when we're talking about, Siddaramaiah's people in the cabinet or being given this or being given that, it's not like he suddenly exits the power centers of, or the levers of power in Karnataka. He continues to be there.
Yeah. See, earlier you were mentioning about whether it's going to be resignation or rebellion. I think now it's down to 80 versus 20. 80% that will resign, and still 20% chance of rebellion is there. I'm sure there will be a lot of MLAs who will rush to his house tomorrow and tell him, please don't resign. We depend on you to win the next election. We have seen this kind of dramas earlier. When Ramakrishna Hegde resigned, the MLAs went to his place and said, no, please don't resign. And then he was brought back. So it's not that everything is over for Siddaramaiah, but it is possible that he has agreed with the High Command and he might go with the High Command's decision. But I don't think he will resign before getting things his way. He will have some conditions naturally before resigning, and if he has resigned before those conditions are met, his hands will be weak.
Yeah.
So I don't expect him to resign straight away tomorrow. It could drag on for a couple of days. That's my hunch.
Veera, I wanted to ask you specifically about, conditions. What would Siddaramaiah have agreed to, or what would he want, for this to be a smooth transition? Because I agree, this is not going to be just a, please give up power. Obviously, he is going to have conditions as well. Do we know what these are or what these could be?
I'm sure there are some very close loyalist MLAs, like let's say an A.S. Ponnana, who has been his legal advisor. There are other loyalist MLAs, and then there are strong loyalists of Siddaramaiah in the cabinet as well. I think first thing would be about asserting and cementing their places in, let's say, a change of administration. The second is perhaps, we've seen talk about his son, who has been, sort of this backroom manager. who vacated his seat for Siddaramaiah to contest. So some kind of accommodation there possibly for his family. Then also the question of how he's going to play a larger role, whether he's going to go to the Rajya Sabha, what kind of larger role he's going to play. Obviously, as we see, a loyalist will be the KPCC president, and that perhaps ticks the box with Satish Jarkioli, both in terms of the caste arithmetic as well as being a Siddaramaiah confidant and in terms of proximity that's there. And then, of course, we'll have to see how the contours of the next cabinet and in terms of the Rajya Sabha nomination. So it's not as if he's going to give this up without extracting his pound of flesh, so to say. But I think it's the question of Siddaramaiah getting ready to give it up, because it's the prized possession as the tallest leader, not just giving it up, not just letting go, but allowing for a smooth transition and ensuring that the Congress works in cohesion as it heads into 2028. I think those are all the other aspects that will come into play.
Let's just play out for our viewers once again. NDTV's Jainendra trying to get a reaction from Siddaramaiah. Now, these little nuggets are always interesting because, body language is pretty much all we have to work with until we get a proper statement from any of these leaders. Let's just play out that sequence for you once again. Here it is on your screen.
Siddaramaiah ji,
are you going to step down, sir? Are you going to step down?
Are you going to resign, sir?
Sir, sir.
Sir, have party leadership told you to resign, sir? Sir, have party asked
Sir,
you
are
to
you
resign?
going to step down, sir? Siddha sir.
Siddaramaiah ji.
Are you going to step down, sir?
Sir, are you resigning, sir?
Okay, so he looked at the cameras pretty grim-faced but wasn't obviously willing to say anything. Deepak, possibility of protests or, an outpouring of emotion for Siddaramaiah by his loyalists. Obviously, he's been told to, keep things low-key by the High Command. But, who can control your loyalists? That kind of thing has happened, at the, with the least provocation in Karnataka. And this is a big one.
Absolutely, and that's the reason why the High Command has been very cautious. I'm told that as far as anybody from Mr. D.K. Shivakumar's camp, they've been asked to remain absolutely mum, not make any sort of statements that will trigger off protests or any sort of animosity from within the Congress camps, and that's not something that they want. They want this to be a very smooth, natural transition. It's not going to be as smooth as they would like, but they want an attempt at least at the smoothest transition, and that's what they are looking at. It all depends on how Mr. Siddaramaiah really looks at it. He's probably going to sleep it off tonight, but while he is going to be traveling to Bengaluru, he's not just going to be left with his thoughts alone. There are going to be a lot of people who are going to be telling him a lot of things. He's a person, of course, who always acts on his will, but also considers the opinion of his inner circle. Now, what his inner circle advises him in this situation is also going to be important, but you can also rest assured that some of his inner circle will also would have got a call from the High Command how to really look at this situation. Now, as far as a CLP is concerned, yes, that's also a possibility that a CLP could be called, but it will be called at a situation where a decision has already been made by Mr. Siddaramaiah. We are not really anticipating a showdown in the CLP where Mr. Siddaramaiah has to prove his numbers. If that could have happened, we would have not probably seen the things play out the way it would have been. And also, again, timing is of essence. Now 2 more years for him to go. He's already achieved much more than any other chief minister in the state of Karnataka. So it would be befitting of him when the top leadership, everyone in the AICC leadership, including the party president, the leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, all of them combined really, when they've requested him for him to rebel against that, whether it will be in his best political interest, that is a question that is on his mind right now, I'm sure. And, a decision is coming in the next 48 hours is what I'm picking up.
And so it is understandable why KC Venugopal, when he came out with the leaders from that marathon meeting, suggested that it was only a discussion about the Rajya Sabha. I'm sure even he knew that, nobody took that comment seriously. But the larger picture, of course, is that the announcement needs to be controlled by Siddaramaiah. It needs to come from him. He is the one who is being given the power to share this information, to break the news formally, as it were, with his resignation, and nobody else, should be able to step on his toes. Chandan had Veera, quick point,
Yes.
You know, at the start of the press conference, Shiv,
Chandan, just coming to you.
when
Veera just had a quick interjection.
Surjewala asked journalists to stop speculating. KC Venugopal declared they will stop speculating. Don't worry about it. So I guess now you can read between the lines. He says the decision has been made. There's nothing left to speculate. Speculate for a couple of hours because cat's going to be out of the bag. So I guess yes, you're right. It's all about the optics of Siddaramaiah making the decision. I mean, at least announcing the decision at the end of the day.
No, and I have to say that
on Chandan in Bangalore.
Yeah, no, Chandan, I'm coming to you. I just wanted to say that, on NDTV, politics is largely about speculation until you know, but we do it very responsibly. So I want to separate us from the large, generous amounts of kite flying that usually happens around political stories. Chandan, go ahead.
Shiv, this, the change of CMship will not be seen as unfair by the party workers because everybody knows the credit for the election victory was shared by them for different reasons. Mass leadership by Siddaramaiah, organizational strength by Shivakumar. And Siddaramaiah got his 3 years. He got to break the record of Devarajas as the longest serving CM. He got to come present the budget. So there's a way in which he's had his fair share of power. And please remember, the great schemes, the welfare schemes that the Congress instituted with so much ambition, they've not been able to take credit for it because of this fighting for this thing. And you can't go to the elections in 2 years with unclarity about this. And you need a CM who can take the party to the election next year. And Siddaramaiah, even if he finished his CMship, he can't lead the party in the next elections. And it'll be unreasonable to expect DK Shivakumar to suddenly become motivated and enthusiastic at the time of the next election 2028 and lead the party to power. So it's just fine. What is happening right now is fine. And and I just hope the transition happens smoothly in the party's, well-being.
Interesting. I'm going to give the last word to Jainendra. I'm out of time on this discussion. Jainendra, who's given us a day-long ringside view of this very momentous meeting that has resulted in what we understand to be an instruction that a change of guard must happen. So who in the High Command will be the handler for what is happening in Karnataka right now? Randeep Singh Surjewala will also be heading back, presumably, Jainendra. So, is there going to be a special task force from the High Command to, go there and monitor what happens over the next 48 hours?
So first of all, Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge himself is from Karnataka. His son Priyank Kharge is a minister in Siddaramaiah's cabinet. So and Organization General Secretary KC Venugopal was earlier in charge of Karnataka just before Randeep Surjewala. Randeep is at present in charge of Karnataka. So naturally these three will take care of the further happenings, and if Siddaramaiah camp will resist, and as his followers, as his sympathizers are pressurizing him to change his mind, if such things happen, then how things will be managed, it will be interesting to see. But as of now, it looks that leadership have conveyed and convinced Siddaramaiah, and he will make way for DK smoothly. If something other, some other things happen, then naturally it will be a test for Kharge, Randeep and KC Venugopal. And for the CLP meeting, I think that Congress party will appoint some observer, some new face, some experienced face, and they will go there for CLP meeting.
We'll leave it there for the moment. Next 48 hours are going to be really, really interesting. Hopefully, I will be in Bengaluru to join Veera and Deepak, to take our coverage forward on this. We'll wait and see how that plays out. But clearly, the action now shifts back from Delhi to the beautiful city of Bengaluru, and we'll be updating you on that. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being with me here tonight on story number 1 on India Matters. Thank you. Viewer, on the 17th of February this year, when India's most high-profile rapist murderer Gurmeet Ram Rahim returned to prison after a 40-day parole vacation, I had predicted that his next parole would be granted before June this year. This is what I'd said on Twitter. And perfectly on cue today, 5 days before June arrives, the Dera Sacha Sauda chief has just left his prison cell on his latest 30-day parole vacation for the 16th time. I'm not happy being right, because there is something deeply rotten about the Indian justice system when a convicted rapist and murderer can treat prison like a service apartment with vacation privileges. 9 years after he was convicted for rape and murder, Gurmeet Ram Rahim, chief of the Dera Sacha Sauda, has just walked out of jail yet again on his 16th parole. 16. In total, that's more than 430 days outside prison. That is over a year of freedom handed out in slices by the state and central government, approved by the judicial system that supposedly exists to punish the guilty and protect victims. And how does this man emerge from jail? You saw those pictures just now, not quietly, not shamefacedly, not humbly. He rolled out in a massive VIP convoy with security, luxury vehicles, attendants and spectacle, almost mocking the very idea of punishment. This, while ordinary Indians are told to tighten their belts, be austere and respect the law. But what would Gurmeet Singh know about hardship? Taxpayer money funds his comfortable existence in prison. Governments in Haryana and at the centre repeatedly approve his parole. Courts permit it, officials in prisons facilitate it, and the country watches. One of India's most high-profile convicted rapist murderers enjoy what amounts to 3 vacations per year. Then we ask why rape culture survives in India. What exactly do slogans like Beti Bachao, Nari Shakti, Mahila Sashaktikaran mean if the same system that chants them is also busy unlocking prison gates for powerful rapists again and again and again, and he's serving a life term, by the way. Because let us stop pretending this is routine procedure. This is power protecting power. Influence protecting influence. A dangerous message to every survivor in India that your tormentor may never truly pay. He may get 3 vacations a year if he is powerful enough. The blood and suffering of Gurmeet Ram Rahim's victims stains not just him, but every institution that keeps granting him freedom. The Haryana government, the central government, and the judiciary as well. Citizens are told to tighten their belts, spend less money, avoid unnecessary foreign travel, and stomach fuel price hikes, while the country's most powerful convicted criminal gets a VIP pass out of jail to do as he wishes. Let nobody forget that. I'm joined tonight by Raman Malik, a political analyst. Ashutosh Srivastav is an advocate with the Supreme Court. Meghna Pant, author and commentator, and Yashovardhan Azad, who is a former special director with the IB and a veteran IPS officer. Welcome to all of you, and thank you very much for joining me. Raman Malik, I want to start with you. Why is the government so beholden to a rapist, murderer, a convicted criminal serving a life sentence that he's just been given his 16th vacation from jail? And please don't tell me this is something he is entitled to. 16th parole, 4 months after he last got parole, 436 days out of jail in the last 9 years. What does the government owe this Dera chief, Raman Malik?
Shiv, one thing which I need to first put through on your debate is that he is being given this parole under the Haryana Good Conduct of Prisoners Act. Now, this Prisoners Act says that you can give up to 70 furrow per year. So in 9 years, he's got about 400 days. So mathematics is easily possible for everybody. That is one. The second thing is that it is just not something which the legislative has to do. It is about the executive which has to do. It is the jail superintendent. It is not barring the jail superintendent, you have the district magistrate, the SP, who take a collective decision on whom to give furlough and
But
what
my
not.
question is this, you're throwing a lot of mathematics at me.
Most important
I'm not even talking about entitlement here.
No, I'm just putting facts on the table, Shiv.
I'll tell you why the facts are misleading.
Now, the other thing.
All of our guests on the screen. I'll tell you why the facts are misleading.
The other thing is, please, just one statement before you shoot another question.
Unless the state government, unless the prison system, unless the judiciary, unless the central government, all are aligned on this man does not get to step out of jail. This is not an act of, okay, we don't mind him stepping out of jail because
so let me, if you would have heard the last statement I was about to make, your question would not have come. Now the Haryana and Punjab High Court in various decisions, because there were multiple PILs which have been filed on this particular issue, the Haryana and Punjab High Court has categorically stated that he is not a hardened criminal, number one. That is the court. Okay. The second thing is, now when you are questioning this, that is what the court says. Now if you questioning that means you are questioning the High Court. Please question the High Court and the judges who have given that decision.
I don't think you heard what I said. I don't think you heard what I said, Raman Malik. I have said shame on the Haryana government. I have said shame on the central government. I have even said shame on the judiciary repeatedly on this story. I am willing to attract contempt on this issue. 16 times he's got a vacation from jail. And the court is saying he's not a hardened criminal. He's a life convict for rape and murder.
What is the difference between 630 days that he was entitled under the law and he's getting 400? Is that going above
but tell me something. Tell me something. There is a large distance, Raman Malik. No, with respect. There is a large distance between entitlement, legal entitlement.
BJP government was the one who brought this man under the
full fury of Are you telling me that the system is not doing this man a favor? Are you telling me the system is not doing this man a favor? And the system is not acting like a butler to him?
He is a religious figure for a lot. That is one fact. The other fact is that BJP was the government which brought him under the law and in the jail.
It is unbelievable.
And BJP is going in the BJP state. They are not interfering with the law, and whatever is happening is happening as per the law.
If he is entitled to 60,
if the law says so, what is your problem?
Let me. This is very misleading, and I want to tell our viewers. I will bring all my other guests in as well. I want to say a person may be entitled to a certain amount of parole, but it is entirely to the discretion of the judiciary, the state government, and the central government whether this man gets it. And by what you are telling me, India's most powerful and influential rapist, murder convict has convinced the judiciary and the central government that he is so well behaved that he deserves 430 days out of jail, out of 9 years. And we want to protect women in this country by calling him a religious figure.
You are wrong here. He is a religious figure for almost 5 crore people.
So what? India is a democracy and has convicted him for being a rapist and a murderer.
So he is the guy who's been brought under, he's convicted and he's in the jail. That was done by this government
just
only.
Imagine what his
But at the same point, the system
you're throwing
is free to act.
You're throwing a lot of legal entitlements at me, Raman Malik. They will not fly because the signal being sent out right now is that whatever those entitlements are, it's not compulsory that he be given those entitlements. Meghna, I want to bring you in because this is not just about letter. It's also about the spirit of the law, and that has been completely violated. I would say the law has been raped in this case by the judiciary, by the government at the state and the center. That is my view. It may be an extreme view. I may be in trouble for this. Meghna, what would you say? Meghna,
the victim, Shiva,
the comment from Raman Malik is he's entitled.
But also by the system, by the judiciary.
Let Meghna answer you.
Just imagine the question that India needs to ask is what exactly is the punishment for powerful men in this country? Because if a convicted rapist like this can receive parole, as you mentioned, 16 times, then what message are we sending, Shiv, to the survivors that justice is temporary, it's negotiable and available to only those with influence? And this is not just a debate about parole or remission or delay and unequal access to justice. Please remember the message that is sending to women about their safety. Those first two sadhvis in his dera and how their families must be feeling right now. They have been fighting since decades, Shiv. We cannot forget it's been since 2002 that these women have been fighting. The CBI has been involved. Where is the sympathy of the judiciary towards the survivors? He's been out for 430 days. That's more than a year. In just less than 9 years of imprisonment, that too with minimal security, he's been convicted of multiple rapes and other cases and murder charges. And he's sitting and posting on Instagram with his 4 million followers. Is this all a joke?
And let me tell you one more thing, Meghna. Let me tell you one more thing before I go to Ashutosh and Yashovardhan Azad.
Yeah.
You know, Raman Malik, you have said that, good behavior has been seen by the judiciary, therefore they've approved it. Then why is it that this man is allowed out of jail only because my mother's birth anniversary, Haryana election, UP election, some municipal body election? I have a graphic on my screen right now which shows you a clear pattern of when and why this man has been released on parole. Yashovardhan Azad, you are a man who is familiar with the law. You've been in the law and order machinery. Do any of these excuses wash with you, Yashovardhan Azad? Because to me it looks like an entire system colluding to help this man get out of jail as frequently as possible.
Absolutely. This man is a rotten criminal.
The question
he
is
might
to
be
me on
religious,
Mr. Azad.
he might be an academic, he might be a minister, he might be... What?
Keep going, Mr. Azad, keep going.
He might... Yeah. This man may be a religious man, he might be an academic, he might be a minister, he might be any damn thing. But he's a rotten third-rate criminal who raped women who were supposed to be in his charge. And that's the most heinous kind of a crime which is ever known in against the humanity. And you and I have been debating on this point for a long time, and I admire you that you have taken up cudgels on the behalf of those two victims. I admire you for taking up a case against the rotten judicial system which sort of approves this in the name of law. Yes, law is blind. Law can be used and law can be misused. And but just saying things that because of his good behavior, he's been released is wrong. It comes at the behest of the topmost authority, the topmost government. And why? Because everything about this democracy is votes. You may win votes, but this kind of a treachery against humanity can never be forgiven. This man needs to be put in jail without parole and without anything. And in fact, I'm very, very scared that this man has already been, released. I mean, conviction has been set aside in 2 murders. And now in the case of rapes, I don't know at which stage is the appeal.
No, and it is meaningless. And Yashovardhan Azad, as a former, person who's been in the police force, you know what it is like for powerful people to be out on parole where they have access to instruments of, intimidation, influencing cases, silencing witnesses, all manner of other criminal activity. I'm not even getting into that.
Shiv, listen to me. It needs a few good men. If an SP stands, I'm sorry, in my tenure of 16 years, no one put any pressure of this kind on me, nor on my collector, nor on things are different. Even those politicians had a large heart and generosity. If one man stands against it, this is not possible. Because they are supine, they submit to this kind of a treachery.
No, but I wonder,
this kind of a thing.
It is a very noble thought that you have, Yashovardhan Azad. But when you have the entire system like this, it is a collusion of a most spectacular kind that I am seeing. And I have been tweeting about this, talking about this. You've seen it for years together. Since 2017, I've been saying, how can this man get parole? Ashutosh, I want to bring you in on this. You're a man of the law. I can't see any technical argument that justifies what we are seeing right now, where a rape and murder convict gets 16 paroles and furloughs in the last 9 years. I don't know what your take is, but go ahead, Ashutosh.
Okay. See, first of all, I want to clarify that the laws are not made by the judiciary. The laws are made by the legislatures.
Come on, Ashutosh. Come on.
Legislative Assembly or the Parliament. that we all know that. Now, the law which has been made, in these kind of cases, the regional prisons have the authorities, who can make the laws, who can actually execute the laws which are made by the legislature.
But you have answered. I am glad you said that, Ashutosh. I'm glad you said that. Because the state government, the prison system, the central government, the judiciary, all four are empowered to say, no, we will not give parole. They're all empowered to say it. It can be struck down at any level. Are we trying to tell the people of India? The people of India are not idiots.
Empowered to say.
The people of India are not idiots.
You are right.
If you are wrong, central government does not have any role in this. Central government has no role in this.
Okay.
The law and order is a state subject.
Let us not be naive. Let us not be naive. Are you saying? One second, Raman Malik. Are you saying if the Haryana government wanted the Dera chief to walk free on parole, and if the central government did not want it, do you think it would still happen?
No, see, first of all, the same law has convicted him. Okay, now
central government has no role in this.
Now, 1 minute.
Why don't they put their foot down and stop it then? He's a rapist murderer. How can you say Nari Sashaktikaran and Nari Shakti and still look the other way when the Haryana government is doing this?
February 2023 or February 2024, the Haryana and Punjab High Court ruled against
not buying these technical arguments.
The PIL was filed and it was dismissed.
No.
See, let me explain that. Supposingly, you are saying it could be refused. It can be refused on certain grounds. What are those certain grounds? The certain grounds are that if he was earlier given parole, he misused that parole. He was threat to the society.
Wow, that's great.
Never surrendered.
The last 10 paroles he has behaved well while he's on parole. So let's give him parole after 2 months. Let's give him some more parole. I am appalled. I am appalled by this.
No, you can be appalled. We all can be appalled.
You have given,
but you should ask the question to the legislature how they make the laws.
I am asking the question of the entire system, Ashutosh. That is the problem. I am leaving nobody out. I am leaving nobody out from this. You don't understand. I am pointing at the judges in the courts. I am pointing at Parliament. I am pointing at the government, at the state, at the centre. I am pointing at everyone. Meghna, Meghna, I want to bring you back in. Meghna is the only woman on the panel here, and I want to give her more time. Meghna, all I'm hearing right now is letter, process, protocol, entitlement, but that is the law. Why don't you question the people who made the law?
Absolutely.
But all I can see right now in my tunnel vision is a rapist murderer who has the entire system contorting itself, making an ass of itself, giving him parole every 3 months. Am I wrong? Am I wrong to be angry right now?
Shiv, I'm as furious as you are, frankly, because look at the Giribala Singhs and Samart Singhs that are coming out of the woodworks because of cases like this. Remember, this is not about a singular case or one individual case. This is about a pattern that powerful men often are able to prolong litigation, first of all. Then they secure interim relief. Then they mobilize influence. Then they psychologically exhaust the complainants. Look at the cases that we've seen in our country. Asaram Bapu, right, convicted in a rape case, has also repeatedly sought and received temporary reliefs on medical or some of the other frivolous ground. The Bilkis Bano case also became another flashpoint, I think, just a couple of years ago, when 11 men who were convicted of gang rape and multiple murders were prematurely released through remission. And this is not about us being anti-men or anti-judiciary. This is about asking whether our legal culture has become so procedural, as we're seeing some of the other panelists say, that it has lost sight of moral urgency. Justice delayed is not just justice denied. It becomes justice that is diluted. Now, if survivors are repeatedly seeing convicted criminals treated with such leniency, right, such extraordinary leniency, public faith in institution is going to collapse. Now, every country struggles with, of course, you have to balance your prisoner rights and victim rights. But in India, this combination of, first of all, endless delays, then repeated paroles and remissions, and social intimidation and procedural loopholes has created this perception that survivors are fighting for years and convicts are never truly getting punished.
I'm completely out of time, and I know many of you have a point to make, but I need to end it here only for lack of time. But I promise you I will not be giving up on this story. Every time parole has been provided to this man, I've taken it up, and I promise I will continue to do so. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining me tonight here on India Matters. We've got some breaking news coming in now. Okay, the Karnataka Game of Thrones continues. We've got a fresh update. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has reportedly been asked to tell the Congress organization head KC Venugopal within the next few days whether he is willing to take up a Rajya Sabha seat. The last date for filing nominations is the 8th of June, so he's got a few days to take that decision. The Congress leadership is also clear that it does not want Siddaramaiah deciding who succeeds him as Chief Minister. During a 35-minute one-on-one meeting with Rahul Gandhi, Siddaramaiah was reportedly told that any decision now must be taken keeping both the 2028 Assembly elections and the 2029 Lok Sabha elections in mind. Vasudha Venugopal, our political editor, is with us live. Vasudha, so things are still up in the air as far as the transition is concerned, and all eyes will now be on what Siddaramaiah decides to do.
That's right, Shiv. In fact, this could be the final act before the transition actually happens, because remember today it was Rahul Gandhi himself who spoke with Siddaramaiah one-on-one for almost 35 to 40 minutes. And remember, Siddaramaiah has always said that he will step down only if Rahul Gandhi asks him to do so. In that 35-minute long conversation, Rahul Gandhi has told him a lot of things, especially making it clear that 2028 needs to be driven by younger leaders, and that he needs him, beside him in for the 2029 national elections. Now, of course, he has been offered the Rajya Sabha seat as well, and this is the Nitishkumar model that's been deployed by the Congress now. And Siddaramaiah has been asked to inform KC Venugopal in the next few days if he wants a Rajya Sabha seat or not. Remember that he has always been anti-Delhi politics. Siddaramaiah has often said that he stands for Ahinda, and Karnataka has been his area of work. So it's not very clear if he'll choose Delhi or not. And of course, his son will also be made a minister, is what they've offered. He's been asked to inform KC what his intention is, and that needs to happen before in the next 1 week, because if he's not taking up the Rajya Sabha seat, the Congress will have to look for other candidates, and that needs to happen soon. We can expect more on this in the next few days.
All right, interesting times in Bengaluru. Our coverage will continue from there. The Game of Thrones is still on, but a transition is expected in the next few days. Thanks for watching, and thanks for that update, Vasudha. It's a wrap on India Matters. Left, Right and Centre with Vishnu is coming up next. Thanks.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
Where the software engineer meets the cool UI UX designer, meets the gifted content writer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindoor.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France, in Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
This is the show where we bring you all the hot and happenings from the world of entertainment and lifestyle.
Really?
Fashion that made you gag. Films that made you fangirl. Art that made it to the gram, and trends that kept us with the program.
Let's get it.
Hello and welcome to a brand new show. I am your host Mayank Chaudhary, and this is Limelight.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा।
Navnidhi Sharma, the father of Twisha, joins me one-on-one
for the first time.
शुरू में देखने को मिल गया था कि क्रिमिनल माइंडसेट है। भेड़िए ने बकरी की खाल में शिकार किया है सर। दे आर कैमेलियन पीपल।
Brother, Major Harshit speaks out for the first time on national television.
We have been fighting non-stop. We are not stopping until the justice is served.
Missing, where is your son? Let me ask you that pointed question.
He is ready to face all the questions, but he has to exhaust his legal remedies.
Breaking news coming in. Samarth Singh has finally surrendered. These are fresh visuals coming on your screen. First on NDTV. NDTV is the only network in the country that is relentlessly chasing this case. Joining us live now for the first time is Nagendra Singh, senior advocate, appearing for Samarth Singh.
The girl has gone because of the pressure created by her own parents.
These are difficult circumstances, but the hard questions still need to be asked.
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
मीठा या नमकीन चाहे जैसे खाओ 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसेली स्वादिष्ट सेहतमंद हर रोज.
Where the software engineer meets the gifted content writer, meets the cool UI UX designer, meets the talented photographer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
We at NDTV travelled across the length and breadth of West Bengal. This was the hottest election in all of India. All of India watched it on NDTV.
Why I say this, it could be a big story.
Thank you. Stories that no one else had. The memorial they have built is not just for Avicii. Houses still bear the scars of bombs that were thrown inside. Moments that gave competition viral fever.
Good evening. Welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Vishnu Shom. On the programme this evening, a sudden U-turn by the CBSE has triggered massive outrage among parents across the country. In April this year, the board clearly stated that the third language, which is compulsory for class 9, two of them being native to India, would be introduced only from the academic year 2029-2030. So from 2029-2030, irrespective of what your first language is, the next two languages, the second language and the third language, would be native Indian tongues. Now, parents and students therefore had planned accordingly. But just 15 weeks later, after this announcement, on the 15th of this month, the CBSE reversed its own notification, making the three-language formula mandatory from the 1st of July this year. Now, what does that mean? Class 9 students now have barely 6 weeks to pick up and master an entirely new Indian language, even though many had already chosen their languages back in class 6, right? All of a sudden they're told that no, there has to be another Indian tongue, and the third language that you were learning isn't valid anymore. Critics say that the move is not just unprepared and unfair, it effectively shuts the door on foreign languages. With English already counting as one of the primary languages, or the first language of many students across the country, and then two native Indian languages now being made compulsory, there's a larger issue, and this is that there is simply no room left for, let's say, a French, a German, a Spanish, a Japanese, or Mandarin. Is this how we are preparing our children for a global future? The Ministry of Education is yet to respond. So there are two issues over here. One, on whether it's right or wrong for our students to be exposed to foreign languages? And number two, what appears to be arbitrariness in the way that students who picked a particular third language are now being told that no, we brought forward the requirement and you now need to learn an Indian language. So, well, joining us now for more on this, Professor Anita Rampal. She's an educator and member of the Executive Committee of NCERT. Jyoti Sharma, Principal of the Platinum Valley International School. Advocate Anubha Srivastav Sahai, President of the India-Wide Parents Association. Divya Jain and Rima Chopra, who are both parents. I'd like to thank you very much for being with us. We'll also be joined by Chandra Sharma, educator and former chairperson of NEOS New Delhi. Advocate Anubha Srivastav Sahai, what sense does it make for children who have studied a particular language, right? Presumably a foreign language, since class 6 to now be told you have to pick up a brand new language in a matter of weeks and then you're going to be tested on it, right? How does one do that? How does anybody do that?
Thank you for having me on this show, and this is a very serious topic on which students and parents community are discussing, but it is not being highlighted because of the ongoing NEET and other matters which is going on. So parents are not happy with this decision because, see, it takes time for implementing any 3-language policy, 2-language policy or any new language policy. You have to make arrangement for teachers. You have to make arrangement for books. Within 1 month's time, how can you expect students and parents and schools also to make arrangement for lakhs and crores of books? Where are the books? We don't have teachers also. If I want my child to study a particular language, 3 out of 3, if I have to choose a new language, how will I choose? Where are the books? Whether it is available? We don't have teachers also. Before implementing any policy, the government should ensure that they should provide proper teachers. Teacher training should happen, which has not happened. Implementation of NEP is not happening at ground level. They are not. Teachers training is not happening. Budget allocation is there for teacher training, but we don't know how many teachers have been even trained till now in last 6-7 years or 5-6 years for implementing this 3-language policy or for some other whatever guidelines are there in NEP, whatever they're planning to implement.
Professor Rampal, come in on this. What is the sense of suddenly bring forward this idea? Because it had to be implemented from 2029, 2030. What is the point of doing it now all of a sudden?
There's no point at all. In fact, this whole question of the way this language policy or language formula has been devised is very problematic. Educationally, children don't learn languages like this. And secondly, English is not a foreign language for us. I mean, it's been a language of the country, and there have been policies which have looked at how English should be learned. So a new language, the second language, so-called second national native language, is going to be problematic also because, one, you don't pick up languages, especially reading and writing. You know, if you're immersed in a communicative environment, you might learn how to speak things or understand. But reading and writing is cognitively a very different process. And so now asking them to learn another language means that there is a certain motivation to push for Hindi or Sanskrit in states which have other state languages. And that's their worry. It's not just which is the foreign language they'll be learning, but which is the second native language. And that's a major concern for the other non-Hindi speaking states. In Delhi also, people are worried that it will become Sanskrit by default. So how come this is being pushed? In what way has it been pushed? And educationally, it's extremely problematic.
Yeah. Mr. Chandra Sharma, would you like to respond? Why do you think that the date has been brought forward when it's clearly implementation would be very difficult?
Let me first of all say that the policy that is being proposed apparently by the NCERT or CBSE is not well received. This is not a new policy. We have been talking about 3-language formula since the Kothari Commission, and there is adequate preparation to implement 3-language policy. Now, the first language is not to be one of the scheduled language of the 8th schedule. The whole vision of the policy is, I'm from Bihar and my language is not Hindi, I'm a Maghi speaker. Okay. The first language has to be my mother tongue, which has to be implemented in the foundation stage, that is 3 to 8 years. and that is first language. When I go to class 3, the second language, the major language of the region has to be brought in, which will be Hindi.
Yes.
And the third language has to be any other language, including foreign languages. And that is why the concept of fourth language comes in, Vishnu. If I am staying in Delhi and my parents speak chaste Hindi, they are Hindi speakers, then my first language in the foundation stage will be Hindi. Maybe second language will be English or whatever, and third language can be any foreign language or any other language. There's absolutely no intention of pushing Sanskrit, Persian, Arabic, or any such language. So I must mention that the whole concept is being misunderstood. The first language has to be mother tongue, and we have thousands of mother tongues. As a linguist,
No, I understand that. So what you're saying is important. But what the way it is being interpreted is that there is now a three-language policy in that the second and third language would have to be native languages. The first language, presumably in many cases, would be English, right? So therefore, the question that arises and has been raised right now...
Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Supposing, Vishnu, there is a couple, a Tamilian married to a Meitei person, a Manipuri, their first language may be English in family.
And so that would be fine as English, and that's fine, right?
That child's first language will
so
be
you have
English
as your first language, and following that, two other languages, right? And two other languages will be what? I know you have a choice. Two other languages are native Indian languages?
Yes. 8 scheduled languages.
So therefore,
language
English
can be a foreign language.
Right. So therefore, English can be considered a native language as well?
Yes. Supposing I'm a Hindi speaker, my wife is a Tamil speaker, and our family language is English.
I think that adds an important dimension.
Language is English.
Professor Rampal, I think that's somewhat of a response to what you were saying.
No, it's not true.
Okay, go ahead.
English is a foreign language. That's what CBSE has clarified.
No, and the 44 languages that have been identified, English is not a foreign language as identified.
They have clearly said this in Puducherry. There are
22 languages.
Mr. Sharma, half a second. I'll come back to you. But ma'am, go ahead, Professor Rampal, with what you're saying.
In Puducherry, historically, certain schools have French as a language. They do French and English. They were told clearly that if French is being used as a foreign language, then English cannot be used. So English is a foreign language. I mean, that is in this combination of two native languages, English is a foreign language. And the three-language formula that Professor Sharma is talking about is the 1960s three-language policy, the formula which said first mother tongue, second is either, you can learn Hindi or third language, but the South Indian, the North Indian states or the Hindi-speaking states should pick up a Southern language. That was the three-language formula. So it was a formula for integration. From the 60s, the language formula is less about language, but about national integration. Right. This national education policy calls it the three-language formula, but it has nothing to do with the earlier formula.
Okay.
And English is a foreign language.
All right, let's just bring in some parents, Divya Jain and Rima Chopra with us. Divya, from a practical standpoint, now that you've learned that your child has to pick up another Indian language in a very finite period of time, does that at all work for you or the child?
No, sir, it does not work any way for us. Our children are so anxious, they are so depressed by this decision of CBSE imposing them it in the midway of the session. They are so excited, they are so sad. Actually, it is the word I will use is they're depressed for this. This is very bad that CBSE has done for the children. My son is learning German from class 5th and now he has opted German and English. Now should I say him that German is a waste for you? It is a waste of 3 years you have studied that language? What should I say him? I don't have any answers to that.
Mr. Sharma, how would you reply to this parent? I think she makes a very valid point.
Very valid point. I completely agree. See, I couldn't get her name, but let me say that her son studied Hindi as the first language, English and German as second and third languages, it's completely acceptable as far as the NEP 2020 is concerned. Because C as mother declares that my child's first language is Hindi.
1 second, Divya, go ahead, yeah.
No, sir, it is not that. We are told that English is a foreign language. If my son go, according to new Act R1, R2, R3, then my son has to study English, Hindi and Sanskrit. He don't know the S of Sanskrit. How will I, in the 9th grade, children are so anxious about the future. They have to go for these entrance exams, board exams. There are so much, and so much changes have been done for grade 9. There is so much anxiety already. And apart from that, one more anxiety is added to them to learn Sanskrit now. And they don't know anything about Sanskrit.
No, Mr. Sharma, the point I think that Divya makes is that as a parent, she has been told by the school that this is the requirement. So the interpretation of this law that you're saying, no, so you can say no, and I respect that, but you must respect what parents are saying over here, right? If they've been told by their school...
I completely agree with...
Right.
I completely agree with Divya's case.
We cannot be in a situation where any number of students, possibly tens of thousands of students, are impacted and told, go pick up a language, like you pick up and play a new video game, right? You can't do that. So it doesn't, therefore, based on the interpretation that these parents have, which have been conveyed to them by their school, shouldn't this policy be repealed immediately and pushed back to 2029?
It should completely be reviewed. So I believe I'm part of the NEP 2020. I lived NEP 2020, and the vision of 2020 is first language has to be mother tongue. Now that is to be declared by the parent or child. That means my first language is Maghi, second language is Hindi, and third language I will study as English, because I'm a Maghi speaker.
No, so 1 second, Divya, let me try and understand this. What is the first language of your child? Is it Hindi or English?
It is English.
My child's.
No, 1 second, Mr. Chandra. What Divya is saying is that her child's first language is English. Hindi is obviously the second language. The third language was German. Now this child has been told you have to learn Sanskrit. So therefore, Mr. Chandra, what about the 3 years this child, Divya, you have a son or a daughter?
I have a son.
Right. So Divya's son for the last 3 years has learned German and is now being told you go ahead and pick up Sanskrit immediately. How is this fair to the child or the learning of German that has happened for 3 years?
No, I think it is erroneous. It is misunderstanding of the policy as well as interpretation. Look, if she declares her child's first language is Hindi,
all the parents
so
have
everybody is nodding over. Okay, let's get one more parent. 1 second, Divya, hold on. Rima Chopra, is this a problem for you as well? That your child,
Absolutely.
Do you have a daughter or a son?
Absolutely, this is a very big problem. I mean, I don't know what Sir is saying, but this is exactly how it is. English is the first language.
Yeah.
Then comes, Hindi, and then comes Spanish in case of my son. And suddenly the kind of the anxiety that I saw, that sudden shock and rage that I can't even trust my school now. There is an inherent, children don't understand that there is a policy change of CBSE, which is understood now, because the school is saying, for him, this is like harassment, this is cheating. He studied Spanish, to appear and take it in boards moving forward along with English. And suddenly his life is changed where he has to do not just Hindi, but also Sanskrit. And I would agree with Divya that he doesn't know the S of Sanskrit, which is true. And
but how can children be pressurized with this sort of rubbish? Absolutely. I mean, whatever the policy was, if there is a misinterpretation, then just fix it, right? I mean, why do you have to burden a poor child with this? A 14, 15-year-old has better things to do. As it is, it's difficult enough.
This is
and if I can add,
Mrs. Jyoti Saxena, Mrs. Saxena, principal of Platinum Valley International School, how do you interpret this? Are schools misinterpreting what the new education policy seeks to do, or are they interpreting it correctly, and therefore the children end up suffering? You're on mute. Can you unmute yourself, ma'am? Yeah, go ahead.
So, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Actually, the interpretation is correct that we have to take 3 languages, R1, R2, R3. Now, if your R1 is Hindi, then you can R2 choose as English, and there is a option in R2 section, and then we have R3, third language. Now, the problem here is that CBSE is introduced in class 9th. Though we have this 3-language formula since ages. When I was a child in class 2, 3, I've studied third language as Urdu. So 3-language formula was always there. Now the problem here is that they have introduced suddenly in class 9, but there is a way out. So what we have done, we are seeing the language as a bridge, not as a battlefield. Now Sanskrit, which they have introduced in class 9th, we have started with a very basic curriculum, the syllabus, because it will not be assessed in the board examination. First, the parents have to put all the anxieties to rest and tell their children it is just a hobby, a class where they're learning a third language.
No, but ma'am, can I interrupt for half a second?
Yeah.
What if a child who has learnt a language for 3 years wants to take a board exam in that language?
So now there will be no, that's what I said, language should be seen as a bridge, not...
No, ma'am, but if German is scoring or Spanish is scoring, ma'am, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I had German as a third language in class 10. I had taken it because it was scoring, right? If there is another child who's learning, whatever the language is, and wants to take that, but is now told that this particular scoring subject is no longer valid, you have to learn something else. You don't need to consider it as part of the main subjects. But is that fair on the child if they wanted to do that?
Yeah, so I agree that this should not have been done at this stage because they have introduced the 3-language formula as foundational stage, and then obviously class 6, 7th, 8th, we are following this 3-language formula. But only thing is that there is no need to panic at this stage because this language, third language, will not be assessed.
Let Anubha Srivastav Sahai speak.
Yeah, so I would like to clarify, ma'am, that see, as far as 10th board is concerned, there will be no exam, but there will be internal marking. So a student he will have to study. How can you say that there will be no marking system? Internal marks will be there, so the student will be evaluated based on the evaluation of the internal marking. If my child has to study a new language in 10th standard, all of a sudden, there are the books also. We don't have books also. After 1 month, the CBSE is going to provide any books? No. This 3-language policy has to be introduced right from the pre-primary level. Madam, 10th May, you cannot introduce all of a sudden and tell a child to study a new language and he will be assessed based on the new language. You cannot force.
No, but would you agree? Would you agree?
Please correct. It is not in 10th only. It is only introduced in class 9th. We have full 1 year. And when the child goes to class 10, there would be no board exam, no internal assessment as of now. CBSE has not given any circular for internal assessment also. They have just introduced this third language. And this 3-language formula was being spoken about, was being discussed for past, I think.
No, but I think based on what I think. Go ahead. Yes, please.
I have one more. I need one more clarification. Suppose my mother tongue is Odia. Okay, and I being transferred to Bangalore. So whether I will be getting a teacher in Bangalore, an Odia teacher in Bangalore to teach me my mother tongue, which I have been reading since past maybe 6-7 years. How are you going to cope up with this problem? The transferable there are parents whose job is transferable these days. How are you going to cope up? Do we have enough number of teachers? Your school might be having, but we don't know. There are many schools, they don't have proper teachers, even for French or even for Hindi or Sanskrit.
No, but yes, I get that. Okay, just wait, everybody wait. I'm running out of time. I wanted to go back to Professor Rampal for one clarification. If a child, as Mrs. Jyoti Saxena of Platinum Valley School was saying, in class 9 is not going to be evaluated in class 10 for Sanskrit or whatever the language is that they now have to learn, then that burden of pressure isn't on them, at least for this batch. Is that right?
There is internal assessment. Clearly, it says that.
But not board exams, right?
Not board exam for this year, but the question is, why is this imposition being made? Why are we making a farce of a language? A language is not a game that you're playing or a video game or a hobby. It's meant to have a purpose. Language learning is not just taking an exam or getting some marks. So why are even in 2 languages, we find in all our research, children are not able to write creatively. They can't write their own original thoughts.
Make it compulsory till 8th standard. 9th and 10th, let students do.
Half a second.
Finish.
Professor Rampal.
We are saying with all our research with children and their writing and their reading, they are not able to do it confidently even in 2 languages when they come to Delhi University. Even their English, when they come from English medium, is so poor. They can just cut and paste. They can't write original ideas. So what are we doing? Why are we making a farce of learning languages? Let them learn confidently one language first, then the second language the brain learns differently. And the pedagogy is different for the second language. But 3 languages pushing them in 3-4 years makes no sense.
All right. Look, we'll continue this discussion on another program because there are so many strands over here that we need to pick up on. But I'd like to thank you very much for being with us. We're running out of time on Left, Right and Center. Let's spare a thought for our children and the value of language education as well. We'll take a short break. There's more coming up on NDTV.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है, अरे मेरे राजा।
Where the software engineer meets the cool UI UX designer, meets the gifted content writer. To create the big dream, the world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है, अरे मेरे राजा।
Navnidhi Sharma, the father of Twisha, joins me one-on-one for the first time.
शुरू में देखने को मिल गया था कि क्रिमिनल माइंडसेट है। भेड़िए ने बकरी की खाल में शिकार किया है सर। They are chameleon people.
Brother, Major Harshit speaks out for the first time on national television.
We have been fighting non-stop. We are not stopping until the justice is served.
Missing, where is your son? Let me ask you that pointed question.
He is ready to face all the questions, but he has to exhaust his legal remedies.
Breaking news coming in. Samarth Singh has finally surrendered. These are fresh visuals coming on your screen. First on NDTV. NDTV is the only network in the country that is relentlessly chasing this case.
Joining us live now for the first time is Nagendra Singh, senior advocate, appearing for Samarth Singh.
The girl has gone because of the pressure created by her own parents.
These are difficult circumstances, but the hard questions still need to be asked.
When others are warming up, I'm raring to go. The stories that matter, the stories that shape your life.
Hello and welcome to watching Prime 5 with me, Raisha Sehgal. What's happening? How to
The show that sets the prime time agenda.
We'll be deep diving into this topic to tell you what's at stake.
Join me, Raisha Sehgal, on Prime 5 only on NDTV 24/7.
मीठा या नमकीन, चाहे जैसे खाओ, 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसेली, स्वादिष्ट, सेहतमंद, हर रोज।
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
This is the show where we bring you all the hot and happenings from the world of entertainment and lifestyle.
Really?
Fashion that made you gag. Films that made you fangirl. Art that made it to the gram, and trends that kept us with the program. Hello and welcome to a brand new show. I am your host Mayank Chaudhary and this is Limelight.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, delicious, healthy, every day.
Where the software engineer meets the gifted content writer, meets the cool UI UX designer, meets the talented photographer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
We at NDTV travelled across the length and breadth of West Bengal. This was the hottest election in all of India. And all of India watched it on NDTV.
Why I say this, it could be a big story.
Thank you. Stories that no one else had. The memorial they have built is not just for Avijit. Houses still bear the scars of bombs that were thrown inside. Moments that gave competition viral fever.
जनता एक गुंडा राज को खत्म करना चाह रहा। बंगाल बचाने का वोट।
Fight for justice, fight for every woman here.
Handouts. When it was anything Bengal, you tuned in only to NDTV. This the OG of elections. NDTV. What size of fish, what taste of fish you like.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा मसाला।
Check the audio, high rate, check the audio.
Let's do it, let's start. Breaking story, we're jumping straight into it. We've got a picture of the letter. What is in your letter? You can never predict what's going to happen in Tamil Nadu politics. 21 days in Kashmir. Unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground. Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling. For a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude. We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship. The line of control, Shivakumar, NDTV.
मीठा या नमकीन चाहे जैसे खाओ 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसली स्वादिष्ट सेहतमंद हर रोज।
High rate, check the audio, high rate, check the audio.
Let's do it, let's start. Big news that we're breaking first here on NDTV.
We know for sure that they have, confirmed their support to him.
We've got a picture of the letter. The breaking story, we're jumping straight into it.
They do not want to be part of an experiment.
Show around and then come to me. At the Nehru Stadium in Chennai.
Unconditional support.
Child killer of TVK is here with us.
We've got Mr. Dinakaran with us here. Veera, why aren't you also dancing?
Vijay is coming out, TVK chief.
Big breaking story here on NDTV. Nobody else has these details. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for the viewership. Thank you for the love.
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area.
North Ukraine. In France, in Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला डिलीशियस हेल्दी एवरीडे।
What seems settled for me.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching News Night with me, Raisha Sehgal. On the show today, the big Bollywood showdown between Ranveer Singh and Farhan Akhtar. We'll take you through the controversies and we'll also have a chat with a legal expert on the show. But first up, a quick check on the headlines. After 24 hours of CM Nataka in the national capital, sources tell NDTV, Siddaramaiah told to step aside. Decks cleared for DK Shivakumar. Sidda now weighing his options, say reports. Mekadatu Dam showdown heats up after Tamil Nadu versus Karnataka war of words. Now Chief Minister Vijay writes to Prime Minister Modi, seeks rejection of the proposal. The new Chief Minister is slated to be in Delhi tomorrow. Quad countries discuss maritime security, economic and energy resilience in Delhi summit. China opposes creation of exclusive small cliques after huddle. Centre forms panel to assess demographic shifts due to infiltration. Home Minister Amit Shah says panel to analyse patterns of abnormal population shifts across religions and social communities. After Katara mimicry case, Ranveer Singh visits Chamundeshwari temple in Mysuru, offers apologies to the deity. Apology after HC rap.
Presented by Canara Bank. Together we can.
All right, some breaking news coming in. This is, of course, the inside scoop on the Karnataka Game of Thrones. Scoop number 1, multiple deputy chief minister formula in the new government which will be formed in Karnataka. Scoop number 2, Sidhu aides set to get deputy chief minister posts and also close aides of Sidhu to get plum posts as well. That is, if a transition is as per the plan, the new government formation is slated to happen in about a week's time. This, of course, after sources telling NDTV that Siddaramaiah has been asked to step aside and decks have been cleared for DKS to be the new chief minister of Karnataka. So if the transition of the government happens in a week's time, the new government in Karnataka will likely have multiple deputy chief minister formula. Many close aides of Siddaramaiah also set to get deputy chief minister post and plum portfolios as well. Let's go across to my colleague Deepak Popanna, who's been tracking the story very closely. Deepak, first sources telling us that Sidda is all set to step aside and DKS will be the new chief minister of Karnataka, and now we're also learning that there will be a deputy chief minister formula kind of a system in the new government of Karnataka, which will happen in the next 1 week or so.
Well, some interesting information that I'm picking up right now, but all this, of course, is subject to the transition that is going to happen if it happens as per plan. Now, as far as the High Command is concerned, they have really made things very clear today in the meeting, and we are expecting a press conference to come by from the current Chief Minister, Mr. Siddaramaiah, either tomorrow or day after. And we are expecting the resignation, of course, officially to happen the day after tomorrow. Now, while this is on the cards, there is, of course, the talk of the new government formation, and that's something that sources are telling me is expected to happen in about a week's time. But after stepping down, there is, of course, going to be certain the demands that are going to be put forth, or at least accommodations that the Congress High Command and the next government that is going to form, and the Chief Minister there is going to have to accommodate a multiple Deputy Chief Minister formula. That's at least the talk at this point in time. Also, the close aides of Mr. Siddaramaiah will continue to hold positions in the cabinet. His son is also expected to be inducted into the cabinet, is what I'm learning. So it's going to be very interesting how things play out. So it looks like, as far as the future of leaders who have been close to Siddaramaiah, who have been his inner circle, solidifying their position is something that's also going to be on the cards if Mr. Siddaramaiah is, of course, going to allow this transition to happen smoothly.
Absolutely, Deepak, and that's what we were discussing throughout the day, the kind of offers which might have been made to Siddaramaiah for this major decision to happen. But thanks very much for getting us the latest. And well, the biggest showdown in Bollywood, the Federation of Western India Cine Employees has now taken a strong stand against Ranveer Singh for his sudden, unceremonious exit from Farhan Akhtar's directorial Dawn 3. The film body says that the actor's withdrawal caused heavy financial losses and disrupted the project just weeks before shooting was set to begin. Ranveer Singh's team, however, has questioned the film body's authority to intervene in the dispute. And responding to the controversy, Ranveer Singh's spokesperson said that the actor had consciously chosen to stay silent throughout the issue. Here are the list of controversies that Ranveer Singh has been surrounded in so far. All right, so what is this controversy? First up, Ranveer exiting Dawn 3. So this is he left the movie, perhaps he left the movie before the overseas shoot began, and the shoot plans were reportedly hit because of Ranveer's abrupt exit. So that's the second aspect. Then the makers claim that they incurred huge losses. Apart from that, let's now tell you what Farhan Akhtar's side have been claiming. Farhan's and Excel's claim complaint filed with FWICE. It was rupees 45 crore allegedly spent on the movie so far, and they're now demanding compensation from Ranveer Singh. Apart from that, what is the action taken by FWICE, which is perhaps a trade union? Multiple notices have been sent. Ranveer skipped the meeting. At least 3 notices were sent to Ranveer Singh, which was skipped by the actor. And the team also questioned the jurisdiction. Well, apart from that, amid the brewing controversy, industry veteran Manoj Bajpayee was also questioned about Ranveer Singh's ban. Take a listen to what he said.
I must tell you one thing, that all the people who are in this industry, they are only reading it on social media, and we don't have the detailed information about it. But all we can say as colleagues or as fellow fraternity members, that we hope that the matter is sorted out soon.
Okay, we earlier spoke with Rizwan Siddiqui, who is a legal expert, and he gave us a lowdown of where things stand, if there's a legal binding, and what kind of legal action can it have on Ranveer Singh. Take a listen.
See, actually speaking, this non-cooperation notice issued by a trade union has got no value under the law, because it is neither a court nor an adjudicating body. It is just a trade union registered under the Industrial Disputes Act. Now, a trade union, since it is not a court or an adjudicating body, what they do is they only circulate their internal decisions with its members, thereby requesting them not to work with a particular person because of non-cooperation. Now, the person who receives such messages or such information from the trade body, it is up to them whether they want to abide by those circulars, notifications, which is more like a communication, which is an internal communication. It is up to them. But nobody can drag to the court saying that this is a law and that this is an order of the court to make it enforceable. It is neither enforceable nor tenable, nor can it put anybody under pressure because of any non-cooperation notice being issued by a trade union. And I think Mr. Ashok Pandit has also clarified this part. I think he's already clarified the stand that this is just a non-cooperation notice and it is not an order of a court, and we are not court. I think he has already addressed that particular part in writing on social media platforms. I've seen that.
All right, Mr. Siddiqui, so you are clearly saying that it is not enforceable, that non-cooperative notice issued by FWICE, and can not put anybody under pressure. So then my next pertinent question is, what are some options that Ranveer Singh has with him at this point of time?
See, now, if there is a genuine dispute, and as Mr. Farhan Akhtar says, that there is a 45 crore loss which has been incurred by him, then he needs to take it to an appropriate forum, which is a legal court. I mean, there has to be a court established under the law. That means a civil court. He has to put everything on an affidavit along with evidences as per section 101 of Indian Evidence Act. Because he'll be under an obligation and under a duty to the court to come on an affidavit and to reproduce everything on an affidavit along with supporting documents to show 45 crore loss. The court will then adjudicate the entire matter on the affidavit and then decide whether this is really a breach of a contract or there is no breach of a contract, and whether he should be awarded any compensation or not.
Thanks very much, Mr. Siddiqui, for joining us here on NDTV. I'm also now being joined by the president of FWICE, B.N. Tiwari. तिवारी जी, आपसे पहले सवाल ये पूछना है कि एक्शन के बारे में बताइए जो आपके यूनियन ने लिया है रणवीर सिंह के खिलाफ, और इसके क्या रिपरकशंस, इम्प्लिकेशंस हो सकते हैं रणवीर सिंह के ऊपर?
हमने 1 महीने से रणवीर सिंह को ट्राई कर रहे थे। हम उनको 3 लेटर लिखे रिक्वेस्ट पर रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे थे कि आप टाइम निकालें और हमारे साथ बैठ जाएं, प्रोड्यूसर के सारे प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाए, क्योंकि बहुत बड़ी प्रोजेक्ट है और बहुत बड़े डायरेक्टर हैं और ये इसको रोकना अच्छी बात नहीं है। आपके दोस्त रहे हैं, साथ में आपने काम किया है, 3 फिल्मों के लिए आपने साइन किया था और उस समय साइन किया था जब आपके पास आपकी फिल्में चल नहीं रही थी।
तो डॉन 3 की साइनिंग रणवीर सिंह ने की थी 2023 में, जब वो ऑलरेडी बहुत एक सुपर हिट स्टार थे। हाँ, मुझे आपसे अब ये पूछना है कि कोई मिडिल ग्राउंड नहीं था, कहीं कोई तरीके का सोल्यूशन के बारे में आपने नहीं सोचा ये नोटिस इशू करने से पहले?
प्रोड्यूसर बॉडी गिड ने भी बहुत कोशिश की, मगर रणवीर सिंह की चुप्पी जो है वो साइलेंट मोड में चले गए, किसी से कांटेक्ट नहीं किए। फिर ये हालात हुए हैं कि भाई उनको जगाया जाए, उनको बताया जाए कि इसको शांत रहकर चुप रह करके आप इसको सॉल्व नहीं कर सकते हैं, मिलना पड़ेगा, मिलने से ही सारे काम होते हैं। तो हमारा एक तरह से हमने मीडिया इसलिए बुलाया कि हमारे इस मैसेज पहुंच जाएगा उनके तक, जी नहीं पहुंच रहा है तो उनको पहुंच जाए, ताकि वो कोई रास्ता निकाले, मिले जाए। कभी भी मिल सकते हैं, कभी भी बात हो सकती है और इसका सोल्यूशन निकलने में कोई टाइम नहीं लगेगा।
जी, आप कह रहे हैं कि इसके सोल्यूशन निकलने में कोई टाइम नहीं लगेगा। रणवीर सिंह आप चाहते हैं आके आपसे मिले। मुझे आपसे दूसरा सवाल ये पूछना है कि 400,000 वर्कर्स है आपके फोवाइस में। अब रणवीर सिंह को अगर आप बैन करते हैं, एक सुपरस्टार को अगर आप बैन करते हैं, तो उनके काम में कितना इफेक्ट पड़ेगा? वो जो सारे वर्कर्स, स्पॉट बॉय, कैमरा गाइज, उनके काम में आपको लगता नहीं फर्क पड़ेगा?
हमारे स्पॉट बॉय से लेकर के सुपरस्टार तक हमारे एसोसिएशन में आते हैं। इसमें डायरेक्टर आते हैं, इसमें कैमरामैन आते हैं, इसमें साउंड रिकॉर्डिस्ट आते हैं, इसमें मेकअप मैन आते हैं, लाइट मैन, सेटिंग डिपार्टमेंट, सारे डिपार्टमेंट आते हैं। वो हमें सपोर्ट करेंगे, हम हमारे साथ खड़े रहेंगे, क्योंकि हम पहली बार प्रोड्यूसर को भी सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं। यदि हमारे आर्टिस्ट से कोई मिस्टेक हुई है, कोई दिक्कत या उनकी क्या डिमांड है हमें बताएं, तो हम उनके साथ खड़े हो जाएं। हम तो न्याय के साथ खड़े हैं, हमारा और कोई मकसद नहीं।
आपसे आखिरी सवाल, सोल्यूशन क्या हो सकता है? आप बार बार कह रहे हैं कि आप चाहते हैं रणवीर सिंह अपनी चुप्पी तोड़े और आपसे आके मिले, बट क्या सोल्यूशन है? क्या आप चाहते हैं कि वो कॉम्पनसेशन दे फरहान अख्तर को ₹45 करोड़ का?
हमारी ऐसी कोई मंशा नहीं है। वो प्रोड्यूसर के साथ, डायरेक्टर के साथ बैठे, फरहान अख्तर के साथ, फेडरेशन के साथ बैठे, आए बताएं अपनी प्रॉब्लम कि हम आज फिल्म इस तरह की नहीं करना चाहते हैं, कोई अच्छी फिल्म करना चाहते हैं, तो भविष्य में बहुत कुछ है, उन्हीं के साथ आगे भी काम किया जा सकता है।
जी, थैंक यू सो मच हमें ज्वाइन करने के लिए NDTV पे। All right, we're now shifting focus to Karnataka, Game of Thrones, and we have some big breaking news coming in. Siddaramaiah has invited ministers for a breakfast meeting on Thursday morning, that's May 28th. Sources telling us that he's likely to resign as the chief minister on that very day. Congress Karnataka in charge Randeep Surjewala will arrive in Bengaluru tomorrow afternoon, and Sidda and DKS will appear together at an event held at the State Congress office in Bengaluru tomorrow to mark Jawaharlal Nehru's death anniversary. I'm going to go across to my colleague Janendra from on this. Janendra, now we are learning that Siddaramaiah has invited a breakfast meeting on May 28th. Apparently, that's the day on which he's going to resign.
Yes, on Thursday he has invited his ministers for a breakfast meeting at his residence, and sources are indicating that he is also likely to resign on the same very day. Before resigning, there is a protocol also to convene ministers, a cabinet just before resigning. So whether after the breakfast meeting there may be a last cabinet meeting of Siddaramaiah, and after that he may tender his resignation. He will meet governor and tender his resignation. he may be asked by the governor to continue on the post till the next chief minister's appointment, and after that the Congress Legislative Party meeting will take place on a certain date, and then new chief minister, who is likely DK Shivakumar, will be appointed. But as far as both leaders, DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah, have left Delhi, and they will be reaching Bengaluru tonight, and tomorrow is Jawaharlal Nehru's death anniversary. There is a program in in State Congress office in Bengaluru at 11. Both leaders will be seen together. Surjewala will arrive Bengaluru tomorrow afternoon, and on Thursday, that is 28th, Siddaramaiah is going to resign in all likelihood.
Right, but also, of course, the optics going on here. After 6 hours of meeting earlier today, Congress comes out and says that we are not talking about any kind of leadership change. And tomorrow as well, we'll have DKS and Sidda together. But how do you see the next few days? How volatile is it going to be? Because we're also learning that there will perhaps be a transition government. A new government will be formed in Karnataka in a week's time.
Yes, it all depends on Siddaramaiah, whether he will resist the decision of Congress leadership. Then only a complex situation will emerge. But sources are suggesting that he will be tendering his resignation and will prefer a graceful exit, and likely he will be coming to Rajya Sabha. At present, sources are indicating that Siddaramaiah has been conveyed and he is ready to tender his resignation, and that is why on Thursday, the day after tomorrow morning, he has called all his ministers for a breakfast meeting, and after that he is likely to resign. But whether it will all go in a smooth way or not, we will all have to wait and see for this transition.
Right, absolutely. Thanks very much, Janendra, for joining us and sharing that very crucial update. All right, on that note, we slip into a very short break. Come right back. News and updates continues here on NDTV 24/7.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
Where the software engineer meets the cool UI UX designer, meets the gifted content writer. To create the big dream, the world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
Launch control 0 to 100.
This isn't just about cars and bikes. This is about how you move. This car makes no sense, yet it makes every sense. What we are sitting inside is a Joby-powered air taxi. Your friend said, "Ye le le." We said, "Maybe not." Hi, my name is Siddaramaiah Sharma. I'm your NDTV Automate, your ultimate guide into the world of automobiles and mobility.
The situation in the Strait of Hormuz right now and Iran, the last 48 hours have been tense. Is there a sense that strikes are imminent?
Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. And so the issues of enrichment and the highly enriched uranium have to be confronted. The straits cannot continue to be closed.
The import of American oil is important for India, particularly because of the situation.
India wants to diversify its energy. We want to diversify the countries we export to.
There is also an issue of visas for Indians. They have to come back to India for green cards now. Why has America taken this decision?
Well, it's not about India. It's about the whole world. Anytime you reform a system, there's going to be some disruptions. There's going to be some hiccups.
How did the meeting with the Prime Minister go? What did you discuss?
Relationship between the President Trump and Prime Minister Modi. I think that always makes it easier to have these meetings because of the personal affinity they have to one another.
Thank you very much for
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Economy, business, world, technology. Noise filtered, numbers decoded. Insights that rewire your worldview. From governance to growth, we connect the dots. Your daily edge, your global advantage. India Business Report with me, Gauri Dwivedi, weeknights on NDTV Profit.
मीठा या नमकीन, चाहे जैसे खाओ, 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसेली, स्वादिष्ट, सेहतमंद, हर रोज.
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Rajgol, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
Navnidhi Sharma, the father of Twisha, joins me one-on-one for the first time.
शुरू में देखने को मिल गया था कि क्रिमिनल माइंडसेट है। भेड़िए ने बकरी की खाल में शिकार किया है सर। They are chameleon people.
Brother, Major Harshit speaks out for the first time on national television.
We have been fighting non-stop. We are not stopping until the justice is served.
Missing, where is your son? Let me ask you that pointed question.
He is ready to face all the questions, but he has to exhaust his legal remedies.
Breaking news coming in. Samarth Singh has finally surrendered. These are fresh visuals coming on your screen. First on NDTV. NDTV is the only network in the country that is relentlessly chasing this case. Joining us live now for the first time is Nagendra Singh, senior advocate, appearing for Samarth Singh.
The girl has gone because of the pressure created by her own parents.
These are difficult circumstances, but the hard questions still need to be asked.
When others are warming up, I'm raring to go. The stories that matter, the stories that shape your life.
Hello and welcome to watching Prime 5 with me, Raisha Sehgal. What's happening?
The show that sets the prime time agenda.
We'll be deep diving into this topic to tell you what's at stake.
Join me, Raisha Sehgal, on Prime 5 only on NDTV 24/7.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा मसाला।
This is the show where we bring you all the hot and happenings from the world of entertainment and lifestyle.
Really?
Fashion that made you gag. Films that made you fangirl. Art that made it to the gram, and trends that kept us with the program. Hello and welcome to a brand new show. I am your host Mayank Chaudhary and this is Limelight.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
We at NDTV traveled across the length and breadth of West Bengal. This was the hottest election in all of India. And all of India watched it on NDTV.
Why I say this, it could be a big story.
Thank you. Stories that no one else had. The memorial they have built is not just for Avijit. Houses still bear the scars of bombs that were thrown inside. Moments that gave competition viral fever.
जनता एक गुंडा राज को खत्म करना चाह रहा। बंगाल बचाने का वोट।
Fight for justice, fight for every woman here.
Handouts. When it was anything Bengal, you tuned in only to NDTV. This is the OG of selections. NDTV. What size of fish, what taste of fish you like.
Check the audio, check the audio. Let's do it, let's start.
Big news that we're breaking first here on NDTV.
We know for sure that they have, confirmed their support to him.
We've got a picture of the letter, the breaking story, we're jumping straight into it.
They do not want to be part of an experiment.
Show around and then come to me at the Nehru Stadium in Chennai.
Unconditional support.
Time killer of TVK is here with us.
We've got Mr. Dinakaran with us here. Veera, why aren't you also dancing?
Vijay is coming now, TVK chief.
Big breaking story here on NDTV. Nobody else has these details. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for the viewership. Thank you for the love.
High rate, check the audio. High rate, check the audio.
Let's do it. Let's start.
Breaking story, we're jumping straight into it.
We've got a picture of the letter. What is in your letter? You can never predict what's going to happen in Tamil Nadu politics.
21 days in Kashmir. Unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
For a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude,
We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship.
The line of control, Shivakumar, NDTV.
Where the software engineer meets the gifted content writer, meets the cool UI UX designer, meets the talented photographer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you? थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा।
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindoor.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area.
North Ukraine. In France, in Italy.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Aditi Bhardwaj and let's take a look at the top stories that we are tracking here at this hour. While the big story remains the Karnataka Game of Thrones. Remember, NDTV told you first there will be a big churn and then we are the only ones who can confirm that there can be something big that is happening in Karnataka. All news and updates will be focusing on that and our focus remains on Karnataka. But before diving into the details, let's take a look at the headlines. After 24 hours of CM Nataka in the national capital, sources tell NDTV Siddaramaiah told to step aside. Decks now cleared for DK Shivakumar. Siddaramaiah is now weighing his options as per reports. Meghdatu Dam showdown heats up after Tamil Nadu versus Karnataka war awards. Now Chief Minister Vijay of the Tamil Nadu has written to the Prime Minister seeking rejection of proposal. The new Chief Minister is slated to be in Delhi tomorrow. Quad countries discuss maritime security, economic and energy resilience in Delhi summit. China opposes creation of exclusive small cliques after the huddle. Centre forms panel to assess demographic shifts due to infiltration. Home Minister Amit Shah says panel to analyze patterns of abnormal population shifts across religions and social communities. After Kantara mimicry case, Ranveer Singh visits Chamundeshwari temple in Mysuru after a court's order and he also offered apologies to the deity. Now, as I told you, our big focus remains on the Karnataka Game of Thrones. What are the speculations? What are the NDTV inside details? Let's tell you about the climax. Karnataka's Game of Thrones may finally be entering its climax. Sources tell NDTV that Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has been asked to inform KC Venugopal within the next few days whether he is willing to move to the Rajya Sabha with June 8 being their last date for nominations. The signal from Delhi is increasingly clear. The Congress High Command is moving towards a leadership transition that could see DK Shivakumar take over as Chief Minister, possibly within a week if the plan stays on track. Sources say Rahul Gandhi told Siddaramaiah that all decisions now must keep the 2028 Karnataka elections and 2029 Lok Sabha battle in mind. A multiple deputy chief minister formula is also being discussed to accommodate Siddaramaiah loyalists and ease the tension between the transition. Nothing official yet, but the Congress may finally be preparing for the power shift it has spent 3 years trying to manage. Let's also listen into what my colleague Janendra had a brief discussion when he was tracking Siddaramaiah's vehicle leaving from KJ George's residence.
Siddaramaiah ji,
are you going to step down, sir? Are you going to step down?
Are you going to resign, sir?
Sir, sir.
Sir, have party leadership told you to resign, sir? Sir, have party asked you to resign?
Are you going to step down, sir? Siddha, sir.
Siddaramaiah ji.
Are you going to step down, sir?
Sir, are you resigning, sir?
And my colleague Janendra Kumar, who has been the first and ahead of all in getting all these details, tracking inside story of the Karnataka Congress churn, is joining me. Janendra, thank you so much for speaking to us at this hour. You know, you've been tracking it constantly. Will we see any change coming in finally, or is it again the rounds of rumors that are doing the spin? We have been seeing this from the last 3 years.
No, this time there is no rumor. Everything is finalized. Siddaramaiah have been conveyed to resign, and from Rahul Gandhi asked him to resign, and Rahul Gandhi convinced him that party is focusing on the next assembly election that is due in 28, and after that the Lok Sabha election in 29. And he already completed 8 years as chief minister, and he is the longest serving chief minister of Karnataka. So now he should make way for DK Shivakumar, and sources are claiming that Siddaramaiah have agreed to this on Thursday. After meeting Congress leadership, he went to KJ George, minister in his cabinet, his residence in Delhi. He had his dinner and then left for Bengaluru. On Thursday, day after tomorrow, he has invited all his ministers for a breakfast meeting, and it would be the last cabinet meeting of CM Siddaramaiah, and after that he will, as per sources, he may tender his resignation on the same very day. And after that, DK Shivakumar would be chosen as the Congress Legislative Party leader. That means next chief minister. That may happen after 1 or 2 days. But on Thursday morning, Siddaramaiah have called breakfast meeting of ministers, and sources are telling that after the meeting, he will go to governor's house and tender his resignation. So everything, Congress sources are expecting that the transition would happen smoothly. But whether it will happen or not, it is yet to be seen. Siddaramaiah will be reaching Bengaluru tonight. Tomorrow, our first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru Death Anniversary is there. So there is a program in State Congress office in Bengaluru, and where Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar both will be seen together after today's meeting. The Congress in charge of Karnataka, Randeep Surjewala, is also arriving in Bengaluru tomorrow afternoon. So everything is planned, and this time there is no rumor. Finally, the longest-serving Chief Minister of Karnataka, Siddaramaiah, is going to resign, supposedly on Thursday, most likely, and after that, DK Shivakumar would be given the command. This is the plan of Congress leadership, agreed by Siddaramaiah. Whether it will happen or not, we will have to wait for next 24-48 hours.
So tables are turning, and as Randeep Surjewala himself said that after this meeting, all rumors can be put into rest. I hope that your inside scoop turns out to be true, and it will be first on NDTV as you've been tracking and reporting it. Thank you so much for now. Another day, another defection concern for the AIADMK. Now the MLAs are turning the heat in Tamil Nadu. Fourth MLA has quit the party in the last 48 hours. In a damage control mode, senior AIADMK leaders of EPS camp called on the Tamil Nadu speaker, urging him to not accept the resignation of the fourth rebel. Now, sources say all 4 rebel MLAs had voted in favor of the TVK government during the floor test. Amid AIADMK implosion, DMK chief M.K. Stalin threw barbs at the TVK, accusing them of horse trading. DMK also alleged that EPS is the cause of the AIADMK fracture. Surprisingly, TVK allies Congress and VCK also slammed Vijay's party over the AIADMK's instructions. Meanwhile, Hosur MLA, another rebel, met EPS today and is expected to return to the AIADMK fold. What is happening is a question mark on the AIADMK's power and hold on the party. Will EPS now step down or will continue to face rebellion? Remains to be seen, but listen in to the reactions coming in.
There is only one MLA from Amba Samutram, Mr. Honorable Isaki Subbaiah, gave his resignation letter. I have taken the letter from me and I am going to go through it completely and announce whether I am accepting it or not. It will be announced very soon.
I don't know, that is because of the infight in the ADMK. It is not 3. Now another MLA, Isaki Subbaiah, also had joined this group, resigned his MLA post and joined the TVK. I don't know what is happening because the problem is with Edappadi, I can say, I think, because these 4 people were among the 25 people who had supported Vijay against Edappadi's wishes. Edappadi's leadership quality is in question, that much I can say. But nobody wants Edappadi to lead the party because many of them had not come, even in the district secretaries meet, many of them had not come. I think the party's view or the cadre's view are against Edappadi's leadership.
The speaker going to accept the resignation, first of all, scrutiny the acceptation. Why? What's the reason? That is the reason we are giving a petition. If anybody giving a resignation letter, you scrutinize the resignation petition, then only you accept the resignation. This is our contention.
Joining us, TVK MLA, Mr. Revan Charan. Revan, thank you very much for your time. The resignations by rebel AIADMK MLAs and joining the TVK immediately after their papers were accepted. Many say it doesn't augur well. The TVK came to power in Tamil Nadu, claiming itself to be a pure force and calling the then ruling DMK as evil force. Are you also doing the same mistake now?
As I said earlier, your character and your behavior depends on the environment you are in. Like, I can judge your character with your friends. As such, when people join a force like TVK, they tend to fall into the bylaws which we have, to the ambience of which our leader has created already. So we will be more focused on people service, and those who are willing to join us are very particular about how they're going to serve the people without any corruption. For instance, prior to elections, there were many tall leaders from different parties who were willing to join TVK. But then the High Command scrutinized the politicians who wanted to show interest, and they joined only people who were actually pure in their service without any corruption.
Rape convict Ram Rahim Singh granted parole once again. Dera Sacha Sauda chief released from Sunaria jail in Haryana's Rohtak, this time for 30 days. Reports say this is the 16th time he has been granted parole or furlough since his conviction. Earlier, on Jan 5 in 2026, he was granted a 40-day parole, during which he stayed at the Dera Sacha Sauda ashram in Sirsa. Ram Rahim has been lodged in Sunaria jail since 2017 after being convicted in rape cases involving 2 women disciples. And he was also sentenced to 10 years imprisonment in each case. He is also serving a life sentence in the murder case of a journalist. But whenever we see that the Punjab elections are coming in, he only gets freedom to roam outside. And in these years since 2017, we have seen that this is the 16th time he has got this freedom to walk out of jail as per his choice and stay at his ashram. Sample the reactions.
और राम रहीम को रोल देने के लिए उन्होंने हरियाणा का एक्ट ही बदल दिया सारा। जितने और अपराधी है उसको भी इसके लिए पैरोल दे दी और बार बार पैरोल देकर उसको ये सिखों की भावनाएं जड़ी है उनको आहत कर रहे हैं, भड़का रहे हैं। जब इसको पहली बार पैरोल मिली थी तब मैंने डाली थी पटिशन्स हाई कोर्ट में। ऑनरेबल हाई कोर्ट ने इसको पटिशन को सीरियस लिया और काफ़ी लंबा चलाया। बट हरियाणा सरकार के जितने भी थे एडवोकेट जनरल उनके और साथी और राम रहीम के अपने एडवोकेट्स, उन्होंने जब हवाला दिया हरियाणा गुड प्रिजनर्स एक्ट का, तो वहाँ पर सरकार हाई कोर्ट फिर कुछ भी नहीं कर सकी।
Now let's talk about the centre's three-language policy, which has sparked fresh backlash as students and parents have been left confused amid a sudden mid-session rollout. The CBSE had announced that the study of three-language policy will be becoming compulsory for students in classes 9 and 10 from 1st of July. The three-language formula in the National Education Policy recommends that students learn 3 languages, at least 2 of which must be native. Parents complained that the policy will only add pressure on students, while schools and teachers called the move poorly timed. Meanwhile, BJP leader K. Annamalai, who earlier supported the policy, now went on to oppose it, calling for implementation from 2029 onwards, stating that this move will only disrupt the education system, and class 9 students who had opted for the third language, maybe a foreign language, in class 6 will now struggle to compete. Viewers, the Quad Summit in New Delhi has concluded with a major push for action. That's right. The Quad plans to shift gears from just dialogue to delivery. The forum is eyeing a bigger global role vis-a-vis Indo-Pacific security, energy supplies and strategic coordination. It plans to be more aligned, more active and more results-driven. Here's a report on what went down during the summit and the outcomes of it.
The Quad is no longer just a talking shop. From a forum built around shared concerns, it is now a forum focused on shared action. This is the underlining message from this year's Quad Summit in New Delhi.
Today, I think we'll make even further progress on operationalizing our relationship, on the areas that we can cooperate on. And by the way, the most interesting thing about the Quad is not simply that it is a gathering of 4 strategic allies in which we come together to sort of compare notes about areas of common interest, but also, and it not only is it increasingly becoming a forum by which we need to take action, but each of these 4 nations represented here today.
There must be zero tolerance for terrorism, closure of the Strait of Hormuz.
The Quad announced a series of concrete initiatives aimed at turning strategic intent into real-world coordination. The grouping will launch a new critical minerals framework along with an energy security initiative aimed at ensuring stable and reliable energy supplies among member countries at a time of global market disruption. On maritime security, the Quad unveiled the Indo-Pacific Maritime Surveillance Cooperation Initiative, which will integrate the surveillance capabilities of all 4 countries to strengthen information sharing across the region. And lastly, the Indo-Pacific Maritime Domain Awareness Initiative will also be expanded, in a move aimed at tracking illegal activities, improving sea lane security, and enhancing real-time coordination.
Nations subject to terrorist attacks.
The summit also saw strong messaging through joint statements. Dr. S. Jaishankar delivered a sharp message on terrorism, saying that there must be zero tolerance for terror, comments widely seen as a message to Pakistan.
There must be zero tolerance for terrorism, and nations subject to terrorist attacks have the right to defend themselves. A free and open Indo-Pacific has many dimensions and facets. Our meeting today took stock of the progress in many of them, while encouraging exploration in others.
Fatigue is increasing, and we know the consequences for our region of the...
Australia's Penny Wong warned of growing economic stress across the region, especially the impact of the West Asia crisis.
region is facing acute economic stress. We know the world is more unpredictable. We know economic volatility is increasing, and we know the consequences for our region of the Iranian closure of the Strait of Hormuz and what that means for our energy security, for our economies, and for our people.
Japan's foreign minister also emphasized the need to ensure safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz.
イラン情勢がエネルギーの供給の観点からもインド太平洋地域に重大な影響を与える中でホルムズ海峡における自由で安全な航行の確保及び中東地域の安定に向けた外交努力の重要性について確認をいたしました。
On the sidelines of the Quad, India and the United States also signed a major bilateral agreement on critical minerals and rare earths. The deal covers the entire supply chain, from mining and processing to recycling and investments.
This particular framework aims to deepen our cooperation across the entire critical minerals and rare earth supply chain, including mining, processing, recycling, and related investments. It will certainly strengthen resilient and diversified supply chains.
From maritime security to critical minerals, from energy resilience to strategic coordination, this year's Quad Summit sent out a clear message. The grouping is evolving into a more structured, more action-oriented, and more geopolitically assertive platform. We report NDTV World.
Taking a quick break here, but after the break, we'll tell you what's happening in the world.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Watch the truck. Full of these people. Kolkata trap. The highest number of voters. Tamil Nadu votes decisive.
I've always liked NDTV. It's the most reliable news channel more than anything.
TVK headquarters here. Lot of thanks for NDTV. Congratulations to NDTV.
Thank the team for their incredible coverage of the Tamil Nadu election so far.
Fast moving, but still relaxed. Informative, but still unbiased.
So I really
The Middle East is once again on the brink of a major escalation. The United States carrying out what it calls self-defense strikes inside Iran, targeting sites in the country's south. Explosions have also been reported from Bandar Abbas, a key Iranian port city. US President Donald Trump has warned that Iran's uranium must be either handed over to the US or destroyed. In response, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei, has said that US will no longer have a safe haven in the Gulf, warning Gulf powers will not shield American bases in the region. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to intensify strikes against Hezbollah, raising fears of a wider regional escalation. Listen in.
אנחנו נכה בהם, נכון, הם יורים עלינו רחפנים, רחפני סיב, יש לנו צוות מיוחד שעובד על זה, וגם את זה נפתור. בינתיים אתם מגלים חוסן, אני רוצה לברך את תושבי הצפון, חוסן שמעורר השראה אצל כולנו. אבל מה שזה מחייב אותנו עכשיו, זה להגביר את המכות, להגביר את העוצמה, אנחנו נכה אותם שוק על ירך.
And my colleague Aishwarya Jain has been reporting from Jerusalem in Israel, from where he has filed several ground reports of what's happening, and is there any escalation? Take a look.
Because of the West Asia crisis and the conflict between Israel and Iran, there has been major impact on the business and tourism here in Israel. As we are reporting from Jerusalem in Israel, this is the old city, and as we are walking by, you can see some shops opening. When we are speaking to the shopkeepers over here, they clearly states that there has been massive impact on tourism, once considered to be the second such city which has a lot of tourism in the entire world, is now being impacted because of the West Asia crisis as well. We are in Israel and currently in the holiest city of the world, Jerusalem, and as we are walking, the Jerusalem Old City map clearly describes how it looks like. The Muslim quarter, Christian quarter, Armenian quarter, Jewish quarter, and all of those four religion people live over here. We have been told that Muslims are approximately 60%, Christians 25 to 30, Armenian 10%, and Jewish 5 to 6%. And the Dome of the Rock, that's the temple that we'll be also showcasing on our special report. That's right here. And as we enter from the Jaffa Gate, we are currently here at somewhere near the Armenian block, and we'll proceed further to showcase how the Jerusalem Old City looks like. Certainly the epicenter of the entire conflict, as we say, for years and years, decades and decades, it is this particular area which was under the conflict. What is the current situation? You have been fighting war in Lebanon front, in Gaza. How are the things currently as we speak?
So first of all, Gaza and Lebanon are two different borders and two different wars that we're fighting. What's similar between them is what you could see from the other side, that they're not trying to protect their people, they're not trying to protect themselves or to do something good for their people. The only thing that they're trying to do is to attack Israel. The tunnels that are prepared against Israeli communities, against Israeli civilians, are similar between Hamas and Gaza, also on the Lebanon border and also on the Gaza Strip.
As you said that, you know, there are multiple things which are very different in Lebanon and Gaza, but you have been fighting from these people there in Lebanon as well. When you meet them personally, what you find out, what sort of situation is there?
We don't meet a lot of civilians. It really depends what's the situation. Sometimes when we come to take over, if we think that something is wrong, or there's a house that looks like with terrorists, so we go into the house, and over there sometimes we meet people, sometimes we meet civilians. I would say 99% of the times they weren't civilians. They were a human shield for the terrorists that were over there.
The war between Israel and Iran has seen a fallout here at the holiest city in Jerusalem as well. And right now where I am, it is considered to be the holiest place for Christians. When the missiles were struck towards Israel by Iran, there are fallouts here in Jerusalem as well. And right now where I'm reporting from is the place where Jesus Christ was buried. Here just behind me is the church of Shivakumar, and here there were certain missiles. Their fallout can be clearly seen. The impact was huge at that point in time, but as they claim that there was a miracle because of the beliefs and faith, there was no one who got injured. Certainly there has been fallout in different places in Israel as well, particularly here in the old city of Jerusalem, where there have been different beliefs, faiths of Islam, Christianity and Judaism. As West Asia navigates the highly volatile security landscape, the building just behind me, which is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in Jerusalem, Islam is working overtime. Certainly for New Delhi, the stakes couldn't be higher following the historic elevation of ties to a special strategic partnership earlier this year. India isn't just distant observer anymore. From joint defense production to keeping massive trade corridors like the IMAC alive, India's economy and security footprints are now deeply embedded in the stability of the region. The core challenge for New Delhi remains certainly the relations to be intact, and therefore the reason perhaps New Delhi and Jerusalem are working very closely to better its ties. We are reporting from Jerusalem in Israel, and certainly the officials closely are working together to get better trade agreements in the near future. This is Aishwarya Jain with video journalist Xavier Thomas for NDTV in Jerusalem, Israel. Right behind me is the most sensitive and symbolic landscapes in the world. I am right behind the skyline of Jerusalem. And just behind me I can see churches, mosques, the Western Wall. And the city has huge faiths as far as Islam, Christians and Judaism is concerned. It has seen in the recent past the missile alerts, the attacks from different fronts, and also people getting injured in Jerusalem. We have been told there was a missile fallout. And certainly, as we are witnessing these visuals from Jerusalem, even during periods of military escalation, the city remains heavily guarded because any disturbances around these religious landmarks carries enormous political and emotional consequences far beyond Israel as well. And right now where I am is the Western Wall, and David Baruch is with me. David, please explain to us why it is called the holiest for the Jewish and why it matters the most for the Jewish.
Well, this is actually the remnants of the holiest place in the world for the Jews, the Holy Temple, built by rebuilt by Herod just prior to the time of Jesus, which means 2,000 years ago, just under in the year 70 AD, it was destroyed by the Romans. This is what's left of our temple, just this retaining wall. So it's actually not the holiest place in the world, but it's the place closest to the holiest world where Jews are allowed to pray today. Jews are not allowed to pray on the Temple Mount. Jews are allowed to pray only here. This is as close as we can get.
Launch control 0 to 100.
This isn't just about cars and bikes. This is about how you move. This car makes no sense, yet it makes every sense. What we are sitting inside is a Joby-powered air taxi. Your friend said, "Ye le le." We said, maybe not. Hi, my name is Siddaramaiah Sharma. I'm your NDTV Automate, your ultimate guide into the world of automobiles and mobility.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Aditi Bhardwaj, and let's take a look at the top stories that we are tracking here at this hour. While the big story remains the Karnataka Game of Thrones. Remember, NDTV told you first there will be a big churn, and then we are the only ones who can confirm that there can be something big that is happening in Karnataka. All news and updates will be focusing on that, and our focus remains on Karnataka. But before diving into the details, let's take a look at the headlines. After 24 hours of CM Nataka in the national capital, sources tell NDTV Siddaramaiah told to step aside. Decks now cleared for DK Shivakumar. Siddaramaiah is now weighing his options as per reports. Meghdatu Dam showdown heats up after Tamil Nadu versus Karnataka war awards. Now Chief Minister Vijay of the Tamil Nadu has written to the Prime Minister seeking rejection of proposal. The new Chief Minister is slated to be in Delhi tomorrow. Quad countries discuss maritime security, economic and energy resilience in Delhi summit. China opposes creation of exclusive small cliques after the huddle. Centre forms panel to assess demographic shifts due to infiltration. Home Minister Amit Shah says panel to analyze patterns of abnormal population shifts across religions and social communities. After Kantara mimicry case, Ranveer Singh visits Chamundeshwari temple in Mysuru after a court's order, and he also offered apologies to the deity. Now, as I told you, our big focus remains on the Karnataka Game of Thrones. What are the speculations? What are the NDTV inside details? Let's tell you about the climax. Karnataka's Game of Thrones may finally be entering its climax. Sources tell NDTV that Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has been asked to inform KC Venugopal within the next few days whether he is willing to move to the Rajya Sabha, with June 8 being their last date for nominations. The signal from Delhi is increasingly clear. The Congress High Command is moving towards a leadership transition that could see DK Shivakumar take over as Chief Minister, possibly within a week if the plan stays on track. Sources say Rahul Gandhi told Siddaramaiah that all decisions now must keep the 2028 Karnataka elections and 2029 Lok Sabha battle in mind. A multiple deputy chief minister formula is also being discussed to accommodate Siddaramaiah loyalists and ease the tension between the transition. Nothing official yet, but the Congress may finally be preparing for the power shift it has spent 3 years trying to manage. Let's also listen into what my colleague Janendra had a brief discussion when he was tracking Siddaramaiah's vehicle leaving from KJ George's residence.
Siddaramaiah ji,
Are you going to step down, sir? Are you going to step down?
are you going to resign, sir?
Sir,
Sir, sir, have party leadership told you to resign, sir? Sir, have party asked
sir,
you
are
to
you
resign?
going to step down, sir? Siddha, sir.
Siddaramaiah
Are
ji.
you going to step down, sir?
Sir, are you resigning, sir?
And my colleague Janendra Kumar, who has been the first and ahead of all in getting all these details, tracking inside story of the Karnataka Congress churn, is joining me. Janendra, thank you so much for speaking to us at this hour. You know, you have been tracking it constantly. Will we see any change coming in finally, or is it again the rounds of rumors that are doing the spin? We have been seeing this from the last 3 years.
No, this time there is no rumor. Everything is finalized. Siddaramaiah have been conveyed to resign, and from Rahul Gandhi asked him to resign, and Rahul Gandhi convinced him